Wendy Radio is live.
What's up, Cooter?
Cooter?
What's up, Cooter? How you doing? I love the visor. 2 thumbs up on the visor.
Yeah, my buddy got it for me.
Yep, Matt did a good job.
Yeah, when he was in Nashville, I guess they had a store. Shocker.
Show the side of it, because doesn't it say Cooters or whatever on the back? I thought it said it. There you go. Cooters. What a great show. What's up, Darius? Oh, I missed you too, babe. How are you? I was thinking about you, Darius. I hope you're doing all right. Losing your mom is very difficult. And I've thought of you more times than I've told you. Anyway, hi, everybody. Hello. Boy, did we have a nice 3-day weekend. I think Brock and I both needed it. Both of us agreed that we missed nothing not being plugged into the news.
It was nice for 2 days. I literally did not touch Twitter for 2 days.
Right on. Yeah, I did not look at a damn thing. Did not look at a damn thing. And you know what? You realize you're not missing much. How's everybody? Good morning. Hello, Tiedemann. Hey, Ginge. How are you, babe? Ortego, Hugo. Hello.
I was having a lot of fun.
Hi, Varmint Mist. Hi, Chatterland. Ooh, some new names. Good Lolo. Hello. Did I say good morning? Hello. What's going on over here on the other side? We got 61 comments brewing on the left. Hi, Rob V. Nice to see you. Hi, Pissed Off 24/7.
Oh, someone said, how was fishing? Tell them about the fish.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Let me see if I could show you the picture that Joe reeled in this ridiculous. So we go sheepshead fishing. Sheepshead is this ugly, they call them convicts, right? The convicts, because they're black and white stripes and they've got human teeth. Like the front of the teeth, they're bizarro looking. It's very bizarre. So we had on Friday, the weather was great. Saturday, not so great, but our captain knows how much we like to fish. That is Joe and his 50-pound black drum. Joe's racist. So we're literally out. Back? It's like 30-mile-an-hour winds, whatever that works out to in knots. I have no idea. Probably the 30. Boat's like literally going like this. The wind is whipping. It's cold, right? It's not raining or anything, but it's not sunny. And we're literally standing there, and you have 2 hours before the tide changes, and then you've got to Scooby back in before it's low tide and you can't get back in. And we were out for like 20 minutes. And there's this just umbrella above you. The tension's so thick you can cut it, though. Everybody just plays it off. It's like, whatever, we're just out having a good time. But the captains are the only ones out on the water. With us, nobody else from the marina is out because who would go? We would. And they would. And Joe hooks into this freaking thing. That fish, they consider them dinosaurs, is between 60 and 70 years old.
How do they know that?
That's how long it takes to get to be that big.
Okay, species, so by size.
Yeah, by species, all of that. Yeah. And the day before, there was like a 13-year-old kid who caught a 70-pound one. I watched Joe hassle with this thing for 40 minutes. It was glorious. I was like,
you know, it's a big deal when the captains are high-fiving.
They were so excited because they have cameras at the marina, and all the captains have access to the cameras. So if anybody's down at the boats doing stuff they shouldn't, they can all see. So they're all like, "What are you doing going out like today?" And they're like, "We got a fair." They want to go, and so we're going. And it was worth it, and it was great. It was great. And then they make up. Darius knows exactly where I'm talking about. He's been there on the same docks and the same boathouse. And then you take up your fish, your sheepshead, and they blacken it and they'll fry some of it and they'll give it to you as tacos. They'll give it to you as sandwiches. I'm telling you what, I'm not a tartar saucer.
I got nothing.
Their tartar sauce. You weren't there.
You could have mailed me some.
You know what? Oh, God, I thought it would be nice to come back, but anywho,
well, then.
It was wonderful, and it was so much fun. I hope you guys had a great time. Brock had a wonderful time with his friend. You did some driving, got to see Jolene, and your brother.
Yep. And then I
went
to Connecticut and did some drinking, did some shooting.
Saw Matt's folks. Yeah. Hi, Matt's folks. hello and a hug and a kiss to both of you.
And they get a good Yelp review.
Better than Jolene.
Yes. Well, I didn't test out their mattress, but
just hospitality-wise.
They made me. His mom made me a cheesecake, and then made homemade blueberries topping for and cookies.
You know what? Did you just say cookies? I hate everything about you. It's not cookies.
I'm okay with
You're
that.
4 years old.
I'm okay with
You're
that.
a man-child. Cookies.
In this bread.
Oh,
this bread.
Stop.
It's English muffin bread.
Why would you do bread?
Fantastic.
4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, hello, America. Greetings to all of you. I'm smiling as I say, welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program. You know, it's great to be back. We had Friday off, and just because we take very few days, Brock really very scarce. Maybe he's taken a week's vacation in 5 years. We appreciate the time away, but I'll tell you what, I miss talking to you. I miss talking to you about what's going on in this world because, of course, as we're off on Friday, some shady Senate dealings go down, and that is the title of today's program. The Senate is shady as hell, right? And that's not a political statement. That's a fact. If you are new to the program, I'm delighted you found us. Hang out for a little while. It's common sense conservatism. It's not complicated. WendyBellRadio.com is how you follow along. Join in the live video stream, join in the chat, join the family. I'm delighted you're here. Welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, Joe and I take this time, we've taken it a couple times now, right around the end of March, beginning of April, to go fishing off of the coast of Hilton Head Island, actually right off the coast of Savannah, Georgia. We go fishing for this wild fish that's one of the most delicious things you'll ever eat in your life. It's called sheep's head. It is ugly as sin. It's a striped fish, black and white. It's got human teeth, literally human teeth. And if you're dumb enough to put your finger anywhere near it, it will chomp the bejeebers out of you. It is the finest eaten fish you'll ever have. And Joe and I share something very special. We just enjoy going out onto the boat with a guy we've been chartering for years, 15 years maybe. We go out, drop anchor in the special spot, and just pick up as many as you can get in the time allotted to go back to the dock, fillet those up, take them up to the guys up on the dock, have them grill them up for us, blacken them, the most delicious, simple thing in the world. Because you know what? When I'm on a boat, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not thinking about my job. I'm not thinking about my kids. I'm not thinking about my bills. And I'm sure as hell not thinking about politics. And for a day here and there, it's really nice to check out, isn't it? It's always good to come home. And today I was like, oh, snap, I'm against the wall. Got home late last night. Got to do the laundry, make sure everything's tidy, and the house needs groceries. So I'm going to have to do that today. But my number one job today before work was to go out and buy my sister a birthday card. Her birthday is on Friday. You know, this is hard, right? It's hard. Fishing for me is so easy. Go somewhere, whether you catch anything or not. It's like having a scratch ticket. Take out your quarter, get your ticket, and scratch away, and you never know what you're going to find. It could be $1,000. It could be $1 million. It could be zero. Every single time you do it, it's a new mystery. It's a new challenge. There are new unknowns. Going and buying a card for someone you really want to have an honest conversation with, but you know it's not going to happen, sucks. It just does. So I go to Walgreens, right? Got my card right here. And I don't know what I'm looking for. Because it can't be sappy. It can't be like, you're my best friend ever. We're connected, but we're distant, blah, blah, blah. But you're my favorite person, and we're the best of friends, because we're not. Because we're not. It's not going to be some syrupy, we've been through this and we've been through that. No, I haven't lived anywhere near my sister in, 38 years? Right? Longer than that? What I wanted to say is something very basic. I love you. I will always love you. But sometimes I want to punch you and throw you down the stairs. I mean, is that a good
Happy
card?
birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Cheers, right? And
Love Wendy.
Love Wendy, right? See, and I wouldn't have anybody else sign it. It would just be for me. I wouldn't be like, come on, boys, come to the kitchen. We're all signing a card for your aunt. It would just be like, maybe if you fall down the stairs, you'll get concussed and snap out of this wacky, weird, progressive, off the cliff, leftist mumbo jumbo that you're hook, line, and sinker onto, because I don't know what freaking happened to you. Is there a card that says that? No. And then you don't want to get a card that's overly syrupy because it's disingenuous. I'm going to give you a card to lie. Right? I want you to know that I love you, and I wish things were different. But I'm not so sure they can be. And for that, I feel like a failure. That's what I want my card for her to be. That's not really a great birthday wish, is it? I mean, like, right? So here's what I settled on for a special sister, right? It's got some butterflies. It's got some gold printing on it. It's pretty. And it opens up and it says, birthdays mean different things at different times in our lives. But having a sister like you has always meant the same thing. Having someone very special to share with and to love. Have a wonderful birthday. I think that's good. But here's the thing. I don't share with her. And so I struggle. Why can't I just sign my name and write, have a wonderful day? I'm not going to send you balloons like last time because I know it pisses you off. And I think it's hilarious when they all show up at your work.
And that's why you do that.
I'm a terrible person. But I sent her a nice package, and I have to obviously, you have to send something heartfelt. You have relationships with people, and they can be with your spouse. It can be with your parents, your children, siblings, what have you. And you wish, right? I wish. But it's just not going to happen that way. And I have to be okay with that. And I have to be okay with really never, ever telling the truth. Because I'm not so sure the truth is requested, nor would it get me anywhere. So I will sign something that says, I love you. I've always loved you. I will always love you. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Is that really what sisters say to each other? You know what I want to say? I want to say, when I'm at my worst, when I feel like there's nowhere to turn, there's only one person I can think of talking to, because that person always makes me feel good, makes it seem better. And that's you. I can't say that because it's not. I'd love to say, I wish I have been more honest over the years and that I didn't shut you out, but I did. And I'm sorry. Love, Wendy. Right? So this is why I love fishing. There's no ulterior motive. There's no scam, no scheme, no bad side. What's going to happen? You're going to catch fish or you don't. Either way, you're not on the clock. Either way, you're not behind a computer. You're not stuck doing something you don't want to do. You're somewhere peaceful, joyful, mindless. And I'd love to say that to my sister. I wish I had a peaceful, joyful, mindless connection with you, where we didn't have to say stuff. We both just knew. But I can't. How many of you are in a similar situation? How many of you had that exacerbated or highlighted during COVID? When you watched people you love, who you've grown up with, who you've spent years of your life with, who you might even live with, go off the freaking deep end. And you're like, I don't understand what's going on. There are some things that we will never understand. But I will say this, in my shopping for a greeting card, I did want to go over to the encouragement aisle, right? And send one to John Thune. It says, you know what? It's time for you to lead. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we need some honest greeting cards for people. Let's talk about, when we come back, let's talk about what happened while we were off, because it always happens, right? Brock and I take like 24 hours, and all of a sudden, we're either at war, pulling out of war, things go to hell in a handbasket, or you've got John Thune making some shady deal with Chuck Schumer at 2 a.m. when nobody's paying attention, and the deal sucks, and the deal does nothing except kick the can down the road and allow the Senate to have a nice 2-week Easter recess. Well, you know what? Dear Senate, comma, you suck. Signed, America. There you go. See, I have a second business right now, making my own line of greeting cards. Let's unpack it all when we come back next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Right?
Number one dad.
Huh? It's just so dippy.
When you're not drunk, when you're not
when
drunk.
You're not drunk.
Happy birthday.
Right. When you're not hitting us, you're fabulous, right? When
you're my favorite. You're my favorite brother. Open it up. You're also my only brother. Happy birthday,
yeah.
dickhead.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so let us talk a little bit about Ghost Bed. I think Ghost Bed has had a wonderful response from you guys. They've come back next week, and they're going to continue this, offering our audience their lowest price of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Look, it's weird to buy a mattress online. I've done it multiple times now, and I'll tell you what, I've not been disappointed. If you have an old mattress, if you're even thinking about it and you're like, Ghost Bed, what's Ghost Bed? Well, it's a line of mattresses made here in the United States by a man, family run, family operated, super cute family. And the guy's like, look, I've had tragic neck and back problems. I've had multiple surgeries. I can never get comfortable. I can never sleep well. Screw it. I'm making my own brand of mattresses. And hence, Ghost Bed was created. Ghostbed.com, and use a / and my name for that 10%. Their prices are fantastic. Their 101 night sleep night guarantee is ridiculous. Literally sleep on it for 3 months and decide if you don't love it, right? They have all sorts of different price points, all sorts of different kinds of hybrids, this and that. If you like it firm, soft, all of it, boom. Stop tossing and turning, feeling lousy. Ghostbed.com / Wendy. Throw my name in that discount box and you'll get that 10% off. I think you're really going to like this company. Okay. I do. I have one, and it's fabulous.
That's it. That's our next merch idea. We're going to come out with greeting cards.
Right? Wendy Bell Radio, honest greeting cards.
Yeah, like,
I love you, but I really don't like you.
No.
Signed, your mother. I mean, like, right? Because it's true. We all feel
you're
that.
Like, it'd be like,
Right?
You're like the dog poo that you step in the shoe. I don't throw the shoe away.
Yeah, I'm trying to wipe you off in the grass, but it ain't working because I got too many nooks and crannies here. Yeah, I mean, that's what it would be. I love you. It's your birthday, but I have nothing nice to say to you. So
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That would be, I could appreciate a card like that.
Right? How about, I wish we got along more, but regardless, I will always love you. Okay. Okay. I'm there.
I just stopped buying cards.
Right? Well, but if you don't, then it's like, she didn't even send me a card. And I'm like, really? I send you balloons.
I think I'm going to send my brother a male stripper for his birthday to work.
She hates the balloons. Oh my goodness, I'm having too much fun in the commercial breaks. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Okay, so we've got this thing going on, this ballroom. Remember, we're going to talk about this ballroom because the New York Times blew open a story about the ballroom at the White House that the left was worried about for like a hot second. And apparently there's some military bunker underneath it, this fortress that is impenetrable. It is something that was supposed to be a secret. Good job, New York Times. I want to talk about that in a second, but first, let's talk about this. While we were off on Friday, the Senate agreed to end the shutdown for most of the Department of Homeland Security. It's some deal. This is John Thune. He's not listening to the 84% of Americans. He's not listening to the 95% of the GOP or the 100% of MAGA. He's not paying attention at all to what we are saying. He's like, oh, I really can't get these four Republican senators to sign on to the Save America Act. We don't know what no, see, leadership isn't about unanimity. It's not about consensus. It's about getting people who aren't on board into the consensus column. And John Thune, for whatever reason, is either too weak or too much of an F-rated Liberty score rhino to do one of anything. Wanted to be off for a couple weeks for Easter. Well, you know what? All the people in TSA wanted to be funded. Same with the Coast Guard. Same with FEMA. Right? Same with the Secret Service. How's that working, John? And so now you've got calls for his head. And we're going to talk about that coming up. Let's go into this bunker thing, which I thought was really interesting. President Trump reveals a lawsuit, apparently, has exposed the truth behind his one big, beautiful ballroom that the military has been helping build, what's called a PEOC. It's a Presidential Emergency Operations Center. It was secretly being built beneath the ballroom. And the New York Times, of course, somebody blew the whistle. They decided to print an article about it, bitching about the design. And it's like, how about, here's my card for the left's media, right? How about you zip it? Thank you, America. That's how I want it to go. This is the president on the bunker. He's on Air Force One. He's holding up a thing. He's like, yeah, it's pretty cool, but too bad the whistle was blown. Here you go.
Now the military is building a big complex under the ballroom, which has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed. But the military is building a massive complex under the ballroom, and that's under construction, and we're doing very well. So we're ahead of schedule. That's part of it. The ballroom essentially becomes a shed for what's being built under the military, including from drones and including from any other thing. The glass on the windows, you see the big windows, the glass is extremely thick. It's high-grade bulletproof glass, so all of the windows are bulletproof. I think the Times wrote, gee, some of the windows are fake. We have no fake windows. They talked about a stairway in the South. We don't have a stairway in the South. That was replaced a long time ago.
And so the New York Times puts out this article over the weekend, and this is the title. Trump's ballroom design has barely been scrutinized. Architects say it shows. So Trump is using private money or donated money, not taxpayer dollars. The guy who is a real estate tycoon, who is known for his building and architectural prowess, who understands lines and columns and facades and continuity. The New York Times is sitting back and finger wagging. Well, architects say it's not going to look good. It's just not going to look good. But you guys didn't say anything when Joe Biden opened the border and we had, 15 to 25 million people stream across it for 4 years. This is where you're going to get your unease in a bunch. And then it goes through this bitch fest, every nook and cranny that somebody on the outside is looking in to scrutinize. How dare you? How dare you? You are the same feckless media hacks, New York Times zeros, who didn't cover the open border with any kind of clarity, who refused to, with any kind of objectivity, present to us the facts regarding January 6th, who ran interference for a clearly stolen election and refused to cover the extraordinarily obvious, cognizant, and physical decline of Joe Biden, who we all knew was a puppet dancing on somebody's strings. And you want to sit back as the president is creating a fortress for whomever comes after him. Whomever it is, knowing of credible threats from Iran, knowing that they had long-range missiles that could hit the mainland USA, knowing that they have tried multiple times to assassinate this president, who, in no matter what world of math you live in, was elected 3 times in veritable landslide fashion. And the New York Times wants to sit back and bitch that nobody was allowed to chirp in on the design. I'm going to say the fewer people involved, the better. When has this president been wrong? And in not so cryptic fashion over the weekend, he also noted that it wasn't just twice that his life has been threatened, that there have been multiple assassination attempts that have been kept on the down low that likely originate from Iran. This president knows what's at stake, standing up to the largest state sponsor of terror and all of their proxies and all of their minions who exist here in America, sadly within our Capitol complex. He knows what's going on. And so for the New York Times, here's a little greeting card that we have created for you. Dear New York Times, you suck. Signed, America. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, from bunkers to America with this front row seat to the uniparty's incompetence. Got to talk about John Thune. Get him out next. So, my friends at Texas Bullion Exchange, I wanted you to see what you get in the mail, right? So I get this in the mail from UPS, which is also how you get delivery of your gold or silver, your platinum or your palladium if you buy hardcore, physical, precious metals from wendylovesgold.com. This is what you get in the mail when you're like, you know what? I hear Wendy talking about you guys, but I don't really understand anything about this. And they're like, nah, she didn't either, but this is what we sent her. So you get this precious metals investing guide. And you open it up and it has everything you need to know. All of your questions about getting a gold IRA. What about getting actual precious metals? How hard is it? How much does it cost? What's the risk? What's the drawback, right? All of the questions asked. And then you realize when you call 855-927-5557, and there's a human being on the other end who's willing to at any time talk to you about what's going on, you realize that this is a special company. And they're in it for the long haul. And the long haul is helping you save for the future. 855-927-5557, wendylovesgold.com. I'm working on some exciting stuff with them too. So I'm very, how do you guys like my new blouse? Isn't it cute? I know you were all looking at it going, dang, she is So freaking cute. I know.
First thing I noticed.
You should have.
After you said, you didn't comment on my new top, blouse, or whatever it is.
Well, pay attention to me.
And I'm like, oh, is that a new blouse? Yeah, you like it?
So how about, Brock, how about this Senate or this whole government shutdown? DHS, right? So they're gonna fund the government, but we're gonna cut $10 billion out of ICE. And that's going to basically have 7,000 Border Patrol agents lose their jobs. That to the Senate during a time of heightened terrorism and awareness. That to the Senate Democrats sounds like a good deal. And to John Thune, it sounded like a good deal too. That's freaking scary. That's freaking scary.
That shows you how much they don't care and how much they're insulated in their bubble where things don't affect them. They don't get affected by this. Mm-hmm. Lindsey Graham was in
Disney.
Can
you imagine seeing his pudgy
a guy
legs
with no kids
socks?
That's old going to Disney?
Little creepers.
That's a little creepy, right? Like,
no,
I mean, at least rent a kid or something. You can be like, hey, I got my grandson needs to cut in line. What?
No. Who knows? Maybe I like Disney too before they went all woke. Now I wish
you had kids when you went.
Yeah, but some people go who don't have kids and they like it anyway. So are you just blanket demeaning all people who like Disney?
I'm questioning them, but he went by himself.
How do you know that? You don't know that he went by himself.
Okay, he didn't go by himself. He went with this mysterious woman that nobody knows about. He's not married.
So did he go with a mysterious woman nobody knows about?
I don't know.
Okay, well that's fake news.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Wow, here's my greeting card to Brock. Dear Brock, stop making up fake news. Signed, Wendy.
Dear Wendy.
If you want to play, Block A? You want to play?
Government shutdown, people aren't getting paid, and you're hanging out in Disney.
Bad look for everybody. Glow agrees. Glow says it looks like he had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, there's some weird stuff going on in this world. 125 comments. My goal today is 500 comments on the Rumble page.
Well, then you better start asking questions, lady.
All right.
And imploring people, don't answer in the chat, answer in the comment section.
I want to know, do you think, JD Vance could come in and they could, with 5 people, Bigfoot Thune out?
They should.
And they should. Do you think they should Bigfoot John Thune out of his Senate majority role? And yes, no. Yes, no, yes, no.
Or,
some people say no.
Who do you replace him with? I know who I would do it with.
What everybody else is saying?
But who are they saying?
Well, let me see who I would want.
In the Senate?
I would think of 2.
Mike Lee?
No, he's not one of them. Though I understand he's been an impetus behind. He's one of the original creators of the bill, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, he understands all that too.
Sure. I would like Bernie Moreno, or I would like Missouri.
Eric Schmidt.
Thank you, Eric Schmidt. What do you guys think? Who would be a good choice there? If we're going to do it, we should do it. Right? Let's get her done.
Mitch McConnell.
Got a big birthday tomorrow. Big birthday tomorrow.
Whose birthday's tomorrow?
Kelly Morgan.
Who?
Kelly Morgan.
How old is she?
I'm not going to tell you.
What?
Oh my God, those are fighting words.
How old are you?
56.
Then they're not fighting words.
Well, I don't care.
You're not 56 yet.
I don't care. But she's younger than I am. Pretty sure.
A lot of people are.
Well, that's okay. You have to go to the bathroom soon anyway, Mr. Prostate. So good luck with that.
Look at
AARP Shazam. So Jim Jordan, yes, he's in the House. So we need a senator.
Wow.
Yeah. Wendy's in her 40s. Darius, you keep it up, baby doll.
No, Darius, knock it
you
off.
Keep it up, baby doll.
Stupid lies.
Oh, that's just so rude. Why would you say that?
He's a butt kisser.
Can we get some rumbles? Let's rumble. Today's our day. Today I want to be 5 or bigger. The end of today's show, I want to read you an article from our friend from the Liberty Daily, J.D. Rucker. It is the wisest, most well-written political article I have read, if not in years, months. And it's all directed to John Thune. John Thune and the American people, we all have a front row seat now to the uniparty's incompetence, obliviousness, I don't know, lack of concern for what we're doing. How is it possible that people serve us but don't listen to us? How's that possible? Because they do it all the time. I don't remember being surveyed on what I wanted to do about the Ukraine situation. Did you guys get asked about that? Did you guys get asked about whether or not you wanted all these people to come into our country? Were you asked about all these kids from other countries flooding our public schools? Did you? I didn't. But now we're watching as clear as day. We have a captive audience. Everybody's watching. And the Senate goes on a break because John Thune is a poor leader. He is the wrong leader. He represents the old wing of a dying breed. He is a Republican in name only. Isn't it amazing how the left's alleged hatred of ICE and their defense of illegal alien voters has exposed the deep state rhinos who are running the Senate? I mean, say what you will about the Democrats. We expect the Democrats to do what they do. I'm opposed to virtually every single thing, if not every single thing they do. But even President Trump was like, you know what? The GOP leadership mess, the DHS funding debacle is exposing. And where we go from here, I want to read you a little bit of this from redstate.com because it is a mess. Senate Majority Leader John Thune spent all week, last week, allegedly working to get the Department of Homeland Security open again and to pass the Save America Act, which we all want. But after days of increasingly tough talk, he cut a middle-of-the-night deal with Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to fund most of DHS, but not parts of ICE or part of Customs and Border Protection. And they passed it by voice vote and then basically just bailed voice vote. So they could be at the train depot, they could be at the bus station, they could be at the airport. Yes, I agree with that. I really want to go on my Easter break. Well, you know what? We really want elections that we can believe in and depend on. We don't. Now, all of this might have been okay if Thune had bothered to coordinate with White House or with House Speaker Mike Johnson to be sure that whatever was passed in the Senate was going to work with the House Republicans or with the White House, right? But he didn't. And so now we have this procedural mess with competing funding bills and vacationing legislators, which is so obnoxious. So obnoxious. Not to mention the schism in the GOP leadership with Thune's actions put into the spotlight. Here's what the president had to say. He's like, look, we all know that the minute the House is overtaken by the Democrats, which will come up, they will win the majority again, right? You know damn well the first thing they're going to do is nuke the filibuster so they don't need to have 60 votes to do a damn thing that they want to do. John Thune's wringing his hands, old school 1995 politics. Dude, it's 2026. Where are you? Here's the president.
If I thought that they weren't going to pass the filibuster, I wouldn't even bring it up. They're going to pass it within the first hour. If they take power, and it's more likely that they take power if we don't do it, because we're not going to be passing any legislation. They're not going to approve anything. We're going to go 3.25 years. There won't be one bill that we're going to pass, because the easiest thing to pass is exactly right now what they won't pass. And they'll do that, and they'll wreak havoc. But let's assume they get in. They're doing it anyway, so it wouldn't matter. They're doing it anyway. And, you know, I have a case where I have great U.S. attorneys that can't be approved because of the blue slips. The blue slips, I think you should terminate blue slips, too. It's a mental termination because it's really a custom. But if you have a Democrat senator or two is bad, but it doesn't make any difference. If you have one senator writes a negative letter on some great U.S. attorney, we had it in Manhattan, Southern District, Jay Clayton, one of the most respected lawyers in the whole country, by far, one of the most respected. And couldn't get approved. The courts approved him. The courts couldn't believe it. They did it like instantly. He went to the best schools, got the best marks, top of his class. Everything was perfect. I mean, he was like led the perfect life. Went to Sullivan and Cromwell.
All Democrats have to do is write a note, and the letter basically stalls those judicial appointments. Look, this is the Democrat policy of governance when they're not in charge. Resist everything, slow down the process, make everything cumbersome and time-consuming, make everything suck, run out the clock, so slow walk anything the president wants to do, get your activist judges to thwart any kind of progress, and then cheat so you can get back in and then blow up the filibuster. I mean, the president knows that. He sees here's J.D. Vance on the rhinos in the Senate who don't want to blow up the filibuster because Democrats never would. He's like, we don't have to go back that far for historical perspective here. Here's the vice president.
The problem is we actually do not have 50 senators, not who would vote for the SAVE Act, but who would overrule the filibuster. That's something that a majority of the Senate. You need 50 senators plus me, and I'm certainly on board, 50 senators to actually overrule this archaic rule and pass the Save America Act. Now here, this is the thing that I find so absurd about this. If you remember Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, two people I didn't always agree with politically, moderate Democrats, but very good people. They are the people who saved the filibuster when the Democrats were in control of the Senate just a couple of years ago. What happened to them? They were tarred and feathered by the far left. They were ran out of town. So when Mitch McConnell and Lisa Murkowski say, well, we need to protect the filibuster because the Democrats, they're not going to do it, so we shouldn't do it either. The Democrats ruined the career of Kyrsten Sinema for not overruling the filibuster. They're going to do it. So we might as well do it now to enforce the protection of the American electoral system. It's the dumbest political argument I've ever seen. I promise you, Benny, I would bet every dollar that I own that the next time the Democrats have control of the Senate, they will break the filibuster, pack the Supreme Court, and destroy this country. We have to do it now in order to save the country.
Texas Congressman Brandon Gill is on Fox over the weekend with Kayleigh McEnany, and he's like, look, we've got a huge core of Republican members of the House who will vote on nothing until the Senate gets its head out of its rump and passes the Save America Act.
How big is this block of congressmen willing to not vote on other legislation? You only need a few to make a difference here.
You know, I would guess that right now there are probably 40 or 50 Republicans that are not going to vote for any piece of legislation from the Senate. Yep. That's a large chunk of the Republican conference. And again, I think it's because we recognize that this is the political issue of the day right now. This is what the American people want. And by the way, this is going to be key to House Republicans keeping a majority in November. It's going to be hard for us to go back to our voters in November and tell them, listen, you gave us control of the House, you gave us control of the Senate, and we couldn't get a common sense voter ID bill passed that both parties, at least from a voter standpoint, support. That's going to be really difficult. So I hope that the Senate sees that this is key to us maintaining control of the House. And if we don't do this, it's going to be a lot harder for us in a few months.
Side of Kayleigh McEnany is Florida firebrand Anna Paulina Luna, and the Republican Congresswoman says, look, Brandon Gill is right. Our coalition is growing in the House to force the Senate Republicans to pass what 83% of Americans demand.
Congresswoman, is that what you're hearing? Because you only need a few votes that would stop legislation in the House. Is it 40 to 50? That's huge.
Oh, most certainly. In fact, most of our frontline members understand, as Representative Gill had stated, how important this is, not just for their reelections, but also remember, we all campaigned on election integrity. The president literally got shot. I don't know if the American people remember that, and still won by overwhelming majority. And yet you have, senators, both Democrat and Republican, saying they won't support this, and that's unacceptable. And so, yes, they will not pass any legislation. We have the votes to kill it. No rules will pass. None of their legislation will get through.
You know, it's really interesting. Both parties are experiencing fissures, right? You've got your traditional Democrats who've been completely co-opted by this progressive, rabid, lunatic base. On the other side of the aisle, you have the old school rhinos who are completely delineated from these MAGA Republicans who are like, no more dealing with crazy. It's about saving America. And Byron Donalds, congressman from Florida running for governor, says it very clearly. You got to nuke the filibuster.
Look, number one, it's time for the Senate filibuster to end. We are witnessing what happens with that. It does not breed compromise. What it breeds is pure obstruction. It's not helping the country. There are many public policy issues that simply cannot be solved because Chuck Schumer and Senate Democrats want to oppose Donald Trump and this administration because they want to score political points. It's not just the ICE agents that are not being funded. It's our border agents that are not being funded as well. They're not being paid. You have members of the Coast Guard not being paid, Customs not being paid, members of Secret Service not being paid. This is a travesty. And I get it. The Democrats want wide open borders and no enforcement of immigration and customs, but they lost the presidential election in 2024. And the number one reason they lost that election is because their radical open borders policy, which has led to the death of young women all across America at the hands of criminal illegal aliens. The United States of America and our people said absolutely not. So this rises and falls with Chuck Schumer. I would say for Leader Thune, he's got to wise up and realize this is not 1995 anymore. These aren't the old Clinton Democrats that you could get into a room and negotiate with in good faith. These people are radical. They are unhinged. They have an ideology that does not support the American people, our Constitution, or quite frankly, Western civilization. And so if they're not going to negotiate, then you got to just roll them over, get rid of the filibuster, pass the spending bills, and let's get that piece of the government back open. It's what Donald Trump has been calling for.
It's what we've all been calling for. Like, when we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, though, I want you to hear Jonathan Karl over at ABC News. He skewers Senator Chris Van Hollen about the Democrats' play to partially fund DHS, but to put the knives out to the very people we need now more than ever to keep the homeland safe. And you've got this senator who was probably right off of another margarita with a Maryland man who's got no defense. It is brilliant. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I want to read for you guys a very amazing testimonial that I got from the Simkovich Concussion Institute. So, I talked to you guys about Dr. Simkovich here in Pittsburgh. And I say to you, look, I don't care where you live. If you live in Maine, if you live at the very southernmost part of Texas, if you're in the northernmost part of the Pacific Northwest, you're not far enough away to not get treated. This guy can fix you. Concussions, yeah. Traumatic brain injury, yeah. Chronic headaches, yeah. Essential tremor? Is that possible? Well, I want to read you this because it's just absolutely beautiful. And this is the testimonial of our friend with the tremor who went to Dr. Simkovich. She says this: I've had hand tremors for more than 30 years. After growing used to it, these last few years have become increasingly challenging. Out of kindness and impatience, people would offer to take over whatever task they saw me attempting, not knowing what else to do. In public, I would sit on my hands or ask for a bottle of beer instead of pouring it into a glass, anything to avoid the attention. Then one day, my dear and beautiful friend sitting across from me simply reached over and poured my drink from bottle to glass. No mention, just a gesture. Knowingly her. About a month later, that same friend offered to connect me with Dr. Simkovich. For 5 years, I had heard her speak of him, but I never thought it would apply to me. After trying medication and no results, I didn't believe that there was any help left. Well, she got the ball rolling, and before I knew it, I was meeting with Dr. Simkovich for a consultation. He believed he could help me. On the first day of my 4-day treatment, I felt the weight of the tremors released into calmness. I walked out of there that day with a completely different feeling. No joke. I hopped. She says, I literally hopped out of his office. After completing the treatment, I've experienced a 75 to 80% improvement. My hope is that my story helps others recognize that there is hope. I truly enjoyed getting to know Dr. Simkovich, his staff, and even the friends I met in the waiting room along the way. He is the real deal, and I am forever grateful to him, to Brock, and to my friend Wendy. Your simple gesture, turning grand, led the way. And that is from our friend, Diane. So Diane has a name now, And the place has a number, and it's 412-366-3700. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. Thank you, Di. Thank you. Very special. All right. What else do we have going on? There's lots of sound today, and it's interesting. Some of it is what? Oh, you're just stretching? I thought you were doing something.
No, my hands hurt from editing. Uh-oh.
It keeps scooching back. It'll scooch back. You'll see. I did get a little sun. Did you guys notice?
I don't like where it's at now.
Okay. Did you notice? Here's the sun. Right. And then that little wind burn. It's so funny. What do you mean you don't like it? Now you like it.
That's better.
Okay. I was on the boat, and literally the guy who is the mate is talking about his low testosterone and how he has no energy. And I'm like, my man, it's called Alpha Gold Male. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, nitric oxide, blood flow, more blood to your brain and all your parts.
And all your parts.
All your parts. Okay. Enough attention. Every now and again, the media will have a random act of journalism. Jonathan Karl over the weekend had one with Senator Chris Van Hollen, and he's talking to the guy about this backroom shady deal at late, early into the wee morning hours of Friday, where they reach this ridiculous deal that is bad for America. And it's bad for 7,000 Border Patrol agents who would lose their jobs if this deal was approved by the House and signed off on by the president. Jonathan Karl, within a random act of journalism I wasn't expecting.
I guess what's confusing here is you have fought and blocked the funding for the Department of Homeland Security because you object, as you just outlined, to what ICE has been doing. And you wanted to force changes. And yet, the only thing that has been assured throughout all of this is that ICE already has the money. Because as you said, $75 billion passed in the budget bill last year. So you're holding up the entirety of the Department of Homeland Security because you object to ICE and you want changes to ICE. But through it all, ICE continues to have the money it needs.
John, we're not holding up all of the money for all the Department of Homeland Security. That's just a false statement. We have said repeatedly, repeatedly, we should fund TSA, we should fund FEMA, we should fund the Coast Guard. We are not prepared to give ICE another $10 billion on top of the monies they already have and are using in many of these lawless operations. We're not going to give them another $10 billion unless they make fundamental reforms,
that $10 billion,
holding
you're
people
holding up
accountable
everything
for
else.
the killing of American citizens.
And fighting over that additional $10 billion, you are holding up the rest of Department of Homeland Security.
We're not holding it up.
I mean,
you're saying, no, John, we're not holding it up. We have now voted 10 times.
Right, but you're holding up unless it doesn't include money for ICE. That's just a fact.
That's just a fact. Right. Tim Burchett, he's like, look, it's time to nuke the filibuster. It's also time to nuke John Thune. I was like, dang, the knives are out, but let's tell the truth, right?
Do you think that Thune made a big mistake here?
I think he made a huge mistake, ma'am. 83% of the population supports President Trump at Save America Act, which they should. He ignores that. And you as a member of the media ought to be disgusted at the fact they passed that thing at 2:25 in the morning and left all the other senators kind of hanging. All he had to do is have 5 of his cronies on the floor. He cuts a deal with Schumer. obviously the leadership in the Senate, and that's on both sides of the aisle, has a real disgust for this president and House leadership because they didn't even have the guts to call Speaker Mike Johnson and let him know what happened. The whole deal of, you know, the stereotype of Congress is, and it's well deserved, is that we pass stuff in the dark of night because we don't have any guts, and that's clearly what's shown in the Senate leadership. I think they need to get some new leadership over there, in my opinion.
The stereotype of Congress is, and it's well deserved, is that we pass stuff in the dark of night because we don't have the guts. That's clearly what's shown in the Senate leadership. So can Senate Republicans boot Thune and get somebody else? Yes, they can. All they need, 5 senators to initiate this, right? 5 GOP senators are needed to demand a conference meeting. It's per the rule number 3. Then forces an immediate vote in the Republican conference. A simple majority, which would be 27 votes out of 53, would elect a new leader. No Democrats are needed. This is an internal party vote only. And about 80% of voters want this action. Here's Senator Mike Lee. Mike Lee, who has been one of the loud advocates of the Save America Act, who is rumored to be one of the top contenders to fill that Senate Majority Leader position should 5 Republicans grow a pair.
The Department of Homeland Security remains unfunded. There isn't a good reason for the Senate to not reconvene immediately. You know, unless we can find a way. I hope and pray that Senate Democrats will agree by unanimous consent tomorrow to pass what the House of Representatives passed the other day. From what we're hearing, that's not likely. But if that's not going to happen, we've got to reconvene immediately because we can't leave the Department of Homeland Security funding up in the air for the next 2 weeks. This is ridiculous.
Can't be on some spring break because the American people see what's going on. And it's unsafe. So President Trump truths out. When was this? This was this morning at 7:39 a.m. The United States of America is in serious discussions with a new and more reasonable regime to end our military operations in Iran. Great progress has been made, but if for any reason a deal is not shortly reached, which it probably will be, and if the Hormuz Strait is not immediately open for business, we will conclude our lovely stay in Iran by blowing up and completely obliterating all of their electric generating plants, oil wells, and Karg Island, and possible all the desalination plants, which we have purposefully not yet touched. This will be in retribution for our many soldiers and others who Iran has butchered and killed over the regime's 47-year reign of terror. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Hey, Thune, is now a really good time for the Department of Homeland Security not to be completely funded. ICE. Really? When we come back, hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell Radio program. Don't miss it. Anyway, so I'm listening to this mate, 48-year-old man. He's recently lost some weight. He's obviously had some recent medical scare, and now he's worried about his testosterone. He's worried about longevity. He's worried about all of these things. He's on this app tracking what he eats and all of the stuff, and he's lamenting that he still has no energy. I'd love to get back to the gym. I just don't have any money. And I'm like, my man. It's called bloodflow7.com/Wendy. And the kind I take is pretty simple. bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Yours is called Alpha Gold Male. And it's on the same website. And the same website gets you 30% off everything on the site, whether it's for men. And Alpha Gold Male deals with testosterone, whether it just deals with your strength, your stamina, your endurance, your cognition, your focus and clarity. If there's one thing you take, and it's literally like 75 cents a day, and the 30% off discount, bloodflow7.com/Wendy. I have not received a single testimonial from any of you that has suggested they felt nothing or they didn't feel something pretty awesome. I'm just saying, batting 1,000. Thank you very much. Bloodflow7.com. Wendy. Nitric oxide. Look, these aren't drugs you're taking. These are natural supplements that naturally open up your blood vessels so that more blood flows through your body. And that is huge. It'll be huge. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Oh, look, I might as well just tell you about GLP-1 Gold. They also, if you trust me and you trust what I say about Blood Flow 7, about it being a phenomenal supplement for endurance and stamina and strength and all of this stuff, if you're starting to feel sluggish, bloodflow7.com is going to change it for you. They also offer something for clients who have significant weight to lose, and it is called GLP-1 Gold. And this is what they say, and they've had phenomenal success at bloodflow7.com/Wendy talking about this. It's basically about busting through the cravings by helping your brain and your belly connect. And the GLP-1, that hormone, is a big, big factor. Now, the shots artificially do it for you. This naturally gets your GLP-1 levels upped, right? So we're not forcing a change. We're encouraging one naturally through a slower process. This is not for the casual dieter who's got 10 pounds to lose. If you have significant weight to lose and you don't want to try something that involves a pharma product being injected in your body, you don't know about the long-term effects, don't know about the side effects, why not try something that's natural and safe and that is affordable? It's literally $1 a day with our 30% off discount. It's called GLP-1 Gold. Same company, bloodflow7.com/Wendy. How are you guys? Let's see what you guys are talking about. I missed you. I love talking to you. All the nice comments too. All right, we have up to 285 comments. Look at that. We're halfway to our 500 goal. I want to see what you guys were talking about. Oh, Al, thank you. Wendy Bell, where facts hit harder than feelings. Thank you for keeping it real. You're the best. Thank you. John Kennedy. I think there's even a stronger leader than John Kennedy for sure. Blood flow testimony. Hi, Wendy. I've been taking blood flow for 4 to 5 months now. Added the carb blocker 3 months ago. Just saw my nurse practitioner. My blood work is fantastic. My blood pressure today was 110/58. Mind blown. I've never been 110/58, even in my 20s and pregnant. Thank you, Wendy and Brock, for all y'all do. Thanks, Fayon. That's fantastic. Thank you for that. Tina Hargrove said Friday sucked without you, Brock.
I wasn't here.
I know. That's why.
Oh, I don't blame her.
Hey, Stag, you make up a really good point about the paralysis of analysis. Yep. I love it. Stopping the grift. Thanks, not real time. Love you. Hi, Mama J4.
I know I'm always asking you guys what show I should watch next. My buddy forced me to watch Landman on Paramount, I think.
What's the premise? 30-second premise?
Oil. This guy's, they're the oil and gas.
Is it real or is it made up?
I think it's made up.
Oh, okay. I didn't
it's
know
by the guy
like
who wrote Yellowstone.
Okay.
And check it out.
Okay.
I'm not through season 1 yet. So don't anyone ruin it for me. I'm not through season 1.
Land what? What's it called?
Landman.
Landman.
Yeah, it's with Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah.
Okay.
I
like him. He's super weird.
He's super weird, but it's such a good show. But like, please don't say anything. I was dumb enough to ask Kate, who's watched it, and said, I said, does this guy make it?
No.
And she's like, oh, wait till you see. I'm like, no. I'm not there. Like, what are you doing? Like,
we've now crossed over into heavy petting. Stop it. I wanted just to pick on the chip. That's it.
Yeah, you don't need to tell me.
I didn't need to get second base. Let's go.
I don't need the Cliff Notes version. I'm actually going to read the book.
0611 Duke, everything is so upsetting. I agree, but we can talk about it, right? We'll laugh a little bit. Oh, Kelly Pigeon says Landman is phenomenal.
Yes,
and he wants me to know if you've gotten to the point where.
Yeah, that's not even funny. Now I can't even look over there.
Well, why did you bring it up?
Because I'm always asking.
Okay, well, why didn't you say it at the end of today's program? Things that make you go,
I'm going to go home and enjoy my treehouse beer and dots and watch another episode today.
Good for you. I'm going to go to the grocery store.
Why would I care about that? I'm not invited to ever eat at the groceries.
Do you want to come to the grocery store with me?
I don't get invited for dinner. Why would I go buy the groceries?
All right. Well, then I invited you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
If you don't use your newfound power, it simply evaporates. It degrades. What's the point? It doesn't grow because nobody becomes afraid of you because you're not using your power. The Democrats invested in Obamacare to the expense of losing the presidency in the House and the Senate. Their return on this is the creation of the belief in the minds of the public that only the government can run things in exchange for this huge leap forward in their agenda. The Republicans simply don't do anything like this. The Republicans, whether they win or lose, are not trying to advance it. That's why Trump was the nominee, and that's why Trump is elected president. The Republican Party used to be the opposition of the Democrats, and it used to be the small government, small taxes, individual liberty party. That's what it was known for. Even before you began talking about conservatism, that's what the party was known for. It's been a long time.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. You know that clip that our voice guy Kelly put into the open there of Rush Limbaugh saying, you know what, Republicans used to be the party that was the contrarian of the Democratic Party, and now it's like this mush of everybody just kind of not in it for the American people at all. Look, if Jeff Bezos can do with Amazon, deliver 100 million packages every day. Can you guys explain to me how the United States Postal Service is bankrupt, is owing tens of billions of dollars and needs to jack up the price of a stamp to like $1 just to sort of kind of make ends meet? Like, what? Government ruins everything. There's almost always a private sector response to things that is way more economical, way more cost effective, way more efficient. Right. And you're forced to watch this morass, this quagmire, this pot of mush, oatmeal, and watch people try to navigate. It's intended to get nothing accomplished. Why do you think the senators and House members don't ever vote for their own term limits? Got to be one hell of a gravy train. How else do you get 73 out of 100 senators being millionaires? 73% millionaire rate when in normal society it's between 7 and 9%. Like, I wonder. So we're going to talk now about Ilhan Omar. First of all, if you are a fraudster, you should not be in this country. If you are an alien who has come to this country, who has been accepted by the goodwill of the people, you've allegedly told the truth. You've reportedly become naturalized because your father was, while you were still allegedly a minor, and you're now an American citizen, but you suck as much as Ilhan Omar does. There should be robust bipartisan chorus of get her out, right? But it's happening slowly. If Nick Shirley hadn't gone to Minnesota, would we know how bad things were, how much the Somalian population was involved and used to make this grift possible, how many of Ilhan Omar's fingerprints are all over this. She definitely committed immigration fraud. This is a J.D. Vance tweet, right? J.D. Vance, Vice President of the United States, also now the fraud czar along with Men at Oz. And he tweets this out. Ilhan Omar definitely committed immigration fraud against the United States of America. Well, we know that Omar's second husband, Ahmed Elmi, was in fact her brother, and that she married her brother and admitted she would, quote, do what she had to do to get him the papers he needed to stay in the United States and attend college. Okay, but there's more. There's so much more. And I want you to hear this. This is Minnesota State Representative Steve Drazkowski. And this is all part of a big 12-minute clip where he has investigated and has come up with definitive proof, actionable proof that he wants to share about Ilhan Omar completely breaking the law. He says he's got the damning receipts includes witnesses, sworn affidavits, eviction notices, a marriage certificate, DNA evidence, and other documents suggesting that Ilhan Omar has repeatedly broken the law. Felony offenses, deportable offenses, denaturalizing offenses. At a minimum, is this the woman who should be representing anybody in Congress? In this clip, you're going to hear Minnesota State Representative Steve Drazkowski asking Minnesota Representative Angie Craig to open up an ethics investigation into Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, and separately to help push Omar's removal from the House Foreign Affairs Committee and strip her of her security clearance. Here is Steve Drazkowski, Minnesota State Representative.
I'm also asking Congresswoman Craig to initiate an ethics investigation into Congresswoman Omar because of questions about federal tax fraud, federal immigration fraud, federal student loan fraud, and state violations of perjury, bigamy, kickbacks, and acts of campaign fraud abuse in Boston, Washington, New York, Chicago, and Florida.
That's kind of serious. He's talking about marriage fraud, tax fraud, immigration fraud, student loan fraud, perjury, bigamy, incest, kickbacks, bribery, campaign finance abuse, and for defrauding the United States government, spanning from the East Coast to the Mississippi River, Boston, Washington, New York, Chicago, and Florida. Other than that, I'm sure she's a lovely person. I mean, he's like, I have all of the goods. And I thought that first audio clip was damning. And then there's this, part two.
There are also violations of state ethics or of the Minnesota House ethics rules regarding colleges for speeches she gave while she was in partial control of their budgets as a member of the House Higher Education Finance Committee in both 2017 and 2018. She was found guilty of the violations by the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board 3 weeks ago in order to return those funds on June 6th. Ms. Omar appears to be a serial career criminal and should not have access to our nation's highest secrets and intelligence. That is why I'm calling on our Congresswoman Angie Craig to protect both our national security and our respect of the rule of law. Tax fraud, immigration fraud, student loan fraud, perjury, bigamy, kickbacks, and campaign abuse fraud from the East Coast to the Mississippi River.
Oh my heavens! Now, do you want to know the kicker? All of this, that was from 2019. It is now 2026. And that woman, Ilhan Omar, has not been prosecuted. She's not been charged. She was not arrested. There's been no indictment. There is no grand jury that I know of. Maybe there is investigating this that will soon become unsealed and we'll know more. 7 years ago, this Minnesota state representative, dropped these goods on Ilhan Omar. And you know what happened right after he said those things? Whistleblowers went to Governor Walz and said, we have evidence of $1 million a day going through airport security at Minneapolis, St. Paul Airport. We have evidence that there are Somalian men, couriers, every day, who are in their luggage, hum-de-dum, rolling through $1 million a day. And they let it happen. Where is the accountability? Where is the outrage? Who can sit next to Ilhan Omar in a full chamber, whatever, State of the Union, any kind of deliberations, and not look at her and say, you are a fraud, you are a phony, you are a fake American. You are bad for this country. You disgust me, and you represent everything that is wrong in our American government, because nobody has the huevos to stand up and say, lady, you are a toxic cancer, and you need to be excised from this American body. Well, it's interesting because as chitter chatter of how dark and dirty Ilhan Omar reportedly is, here comes on discernreport.com. Well, who is it that said they would take Ilhan Omar if she does get denaturalized? Because J.D. Vance says that she should be stripped of her citizenship and she should be bounced after serving time in our prison. I say, screw prison, just get her the hell out of here. Why should we pay for her to sit there and do whatever the hell she's going to do? Well, Somaliland offers to take Ilhan Omar if J.D. Vance wants to deport her. Kind of an interesting thing, a certain poetic justice in watching a partially recognized African nation publicly mock a sitting member of the United States Congress and volunteer to receive her as a criminal fugitive. Somaliland is willing to do more than the House of Representatives is. And we wonder why it's so disappointing to watch the Senate as well. And you have a front row ticket. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, why do I call Pennsylvania, where I'm from, the land before time? Well, in one vote, I've got it for you next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. So we've known since 2019 all of these things about Ilhan Omar, yet she can go before Congress and she can argue for the COVID funds to be detoured over to the Feeding Our Futures program of suck that we know at a minimum cost, what? Hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of billions. What's the number? Right? What's the number? Hasn't changed. Hasn't stopped. Quick. Drop a virus. Check. There you go. Ireland contracting. Oh, Gary. Gary wants to come over and measure my skylights. I'm like, if we replace all of them, is there a discount? This is why I love Ireland contracting. I believe in what they do. I'm going to get a couple other estimates. I want to make sure we're all on the same page, but I've been told, like most of us have been told in our lives, if we're homeowners, that you got to do something major. And replacing the roof is not a sexy moneymaker, but it is, you got to do it. So would you rather get the word from somebody you trust, like Gary and Diane Ireland and their crew? Yeah. Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. Good people, home exterior remodeling, windows, roofing, skylights, sun tunnels, soffit fascia, all of it. Gutters, downspouts, not the sexy stuff, but that's what they do, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. All right. Have we gotten to 2 yet? No. Almost. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Come on.
I thought they missed you. That would be a perfect way
to show us. 328 comments. All right, we're on our way. I want 500 today. And I want to read some of these as we get a little bit more into the program. In the next break, I want to tell you guys about Healthy Cell. God, the number of people I hear out in public talking about not being able to sleep. Whew. All right. All right, 1.99. We're almost at 2. Super disappointing. No kings. What a joke. Isn't that unfortunate?
I was fortunate enough to drive by in Massachusetts. No kings.
Was it hopping?
It was right along the street.
Yeah, yeah.
Put the window down and wave to everybody.
Wow, that's rude.
But
how rude.
I was telling them they were number 1.
Uh-huh. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Just wait until they recognize you, and then all of a sudden.
Right, because those people would recognize me.
I don't know.
We were going 30 miles an hour.
Just exchanging greetings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Here's what you're saying, what you think. Here's what I think. That's it. It's just a conversation.
Are you going to get a haircut anytime soon, or are you waiting on me to make a reservation for you? An appointment.
Do I need one?
You tell me.
Yeah, I do. But
well, then figure it out.
I'm not the one that needs the
I don't know.
chemicals.
My hair looks fabulous. Look at that. Look how nice and fabulous that is.
Really?
Yeah.
So tell me, what did you say this morning?
It looks kind of gray. Do you see it?
No.
Yeah, I know.
You put some shoe polish on.
Yes. Yes. Not shoe polish. They've invented better stuff since the 1940s. Do you guys really think we need a women's month? A month to celebrate the extraordinary accomplishments of women. Why is there never a men's month? Why is there never a white dudes month? Right? White straight Catholic guys month. Who gets that? Anybody get that? Even if you don't fall into that, you'd be like, yeah, I'm all about that. It's so dumb. Indigenous Peoples Month. It's the LGBT month. It's Black History Month. How about it's just I'm Not a Jerk month? Can we do that? That'd be a great month. I'm not a jerk. That's the month that we're all going to celebrate. Well, in my Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, some of the finer minds in the General Assembly there in the House, which is just, I don't know what the hell those people do. It's ridiculous. I would throat punch everyone and throw them down the stairs and probably be, I don't know, elevated for it. Well, they wanted to do a women's month, right? They're like, let's do March. We'll put a bill together and we'll make March Women's Month because that's important. Okay, I don't get it. Whatever. Blue state Democrats, things all went sideways when a Republican got up and he's like, you know what? That's great. Women's Month, we're all about celebrating women. Let's define the word woman. And then everybody was like, robots malfunctioning. They're like, we can't do that. You don't know what the word woman means? Oh, so ridiculous. Blue state Dems pull resolution honoring March as National Women's Month after a GOP lawmaker defines what a woman is. Can you make this crap up? Well, let's listen to John Roberts over at Fox News. He's got the story and he's literally incredulous. He literally is shaking his head like, oh my gosh, thank God I don't live in Pennsylvania. Here you go.
A battle over biology in battleground Pennsylvania, where state Democrats withdrew a House resolution honoring March as National Women's Month. All it took was a Republican lawmaker asking for a simple definition of what a woman is. The vote was expected to be quick and largely symbolic, but it was polled after this awkward 25-second break.
Madam Speaker, this amendment is very straightforward and clear. It defines what a woman actually is because we do know what that is. Thank you.
The resolution is temporarily over.
Well, there you go. They pulled the whole thing. The Republican who put forth the amendment says defining a woman as having double X chromosomes should not be controversial.
When did the Democratic Party become such a party of posers? So we're going to do something because kumbaya, yay, we can celebrate women because women are marginalized. Really? Like where? What can a woman in America not do that a man in America can do? I mean, I'm living proof. Think about a whiter, more middle-aged man job than talk radio host, right? And then hyperspace into it as a chick. You want to be an outsider looking in? Right on. But I can succeed or fail on my own. I have opportunities. I do what I want, right? And yet now we've got this ridiculous group of people that can't define what a woman is and gets themselves in literally a bunch because they want transgender people to be included. How about we just stop being stupid? How about we just get back to the basics of what life used to be like, where Congress was supposed to represent the values and the wishes of the voters who elected them. And when those people in the House and Senate stopped doing what we wanted, we moved them along. All this mumbo jumbo, Women's Month, oh, we've got to pull it because we can't agree. It is just yet another example to the hardworking American men and women out there who get up every day and go to work and work hard, do the right thing, pay their taxes, raise their children, try to do what's best. And we've got these role models, morons, who do this? I don't understand. But yes, we do. Democratic Representative Carol Hill Evans introduced this House Resolution 390 to designate March as National Women's Month. Sounds lovely. And we're going to amend it very straightforward here, very clearly, said Aaron Bernstein, a Republican in Pennsylvania. He's like, look, it defines what a woman actually is because we do know what that is. We're dealing with something that is dangerous. And if John Thune doesn't think for 1 minute, the wackadoodles who have co-opted the Democratic Party, who have steamrolled Chuck Schumer, who realizes he's got no marketable skills, no nothing, that all he can do is cling on for dear survival in the Senate, right? Nuke it, John. Pass the Save America Act, John. Let's pass some of President Trump's laws, John. Let's make America great again, John, because that is what the majority of America wants. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, no kings. Well, it ends up being no joy. All the white people, old people, they're getting paid, clocking in, clocking out. It's so authentic and organic, isn't it? Right. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Pennsylvania's a joke.
The Democrat Party's a joke right now.
Yeah.
Can't define what a woman is.
Stop it. It's insulting. Insulting. Healthy cell. REM sleep. You know, I pulled something up. When you buy one of these microgel supplements from Healthy Cell, and the REM sleep is one of it's just the best. You can get on and you can unsubscribe, but I'm on their email chain. So I see the pointers that they put out every day about this or that. And I want to read you one that I thought was really interesting about their REM sleep. Of course, now that I've said it, I'm not going to be able to find it, but hold on. Healthy Cell. And it's like the whole idea that over a certain age, you're just not supposed to sleep well. You're not supposed to sleep comfortably. that, oh, you're just, I guess it's just a sign of aging that I'm up and down and I'm never fully rested. And I just am kind of dragging through, but I guess that's just what happens over the age of 50. And there's nothing I can do about it. It's like, no, there's absolutely something you can do about it. You can take REM sleep, the formula from our friends at Healthy Cell, healthycell.com. It is an innovative delivery of life-changing supplements. And I took one last night. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I took one before I went to bed, about a half hour before, right? It settles into your system and you just feel a calm come over you. And then it's time to wash your face, brush your teeth, put on jams, whatever you sleep in, crawl into bed and just think about nothing. Then before you know it, you're asleep. And if you have to get up and go to the bathroom, you do, but your mind doesn't awaken and you're not like, blah, 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 blah. You fall back asleep. And then when it's time to wake up, you're like, I feel pretty good. That's it. REM sleep from Healthy Cell, healthycell.com/Wendy. I'm just going to say it is worth every single penny. And you get a nice discount when your first order. I think it's 20% off. It's great. Ryan even said that to me. I was talking to him when we were away, Brock, and he was like, oh, I've got to get more of that REM sleep. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I mean, it's stressful. He's got a big bio tests coming up and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I just need to be able to shut it off and then wake up and feel rested. And Healthy Cell REM sleep is the only thing I have that does that. Thank you.
That's the thing, shutting it off.
Oh, God, right? Definitely helpful. Let's see how you guys are doing now. 2.09, bit by bit, 900 people to get to the all elusive 3,000 rumbles. Thank you for that. And thank you for following us. Just hitting that follow button. That's hugely helpful to us as well. Thank you. Do you want to do a weekend show, Brock? Are you going to be here for the pet show on Saturday?
Yes.
Do you want to do a Sunday show? I'm in. You guys want to do a Sunday show? You respond here. Let us know. Let us know in the comment section.
Oh, good
That's
one.
cheap. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But if it's not overwhelmingly yes, I'm going to be like, okay, we can sleep.
In the comment section.
In the comment section, not on the chat. In the comment section, because you know I'm trying to point whore. At least I'm honest about my motivations. Factual, actual.
Do you know what time of year it is? This is the reason growing up I loved the Easter season. The 10 Commandments comes on TV with Charlton Heston.
Mm-hmm.
They used to do it in 3-part miniseries. I'm seeing a lot of people responding in the chat.
We need you to respond in the comments section, which is underneath the video box. So just bump over. That's hugely helpful to us. Look, all we need now are 870 people.
Sunday is Easter. Yes, it is.
Oh, Sunday's Easter. Pooh.
It's 7:00 in the morning.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Yes. Here's the kicker. Some people said, enjoy time with your family. We're the only ones in our houses that are up.
Nobody's up in my house.
My
Joe's
dog doesn't even get up.
Joe's working, so he's going to be going to work. I have one of those egg coloring kits, but I'm not going to use it.
Why?
Because I don't know if they would color with me. The kids in there who are 18, 20, 24, whatever.
I just like them eat the eggs.
Well, I just made 10 hard-boiled eggs yesterday. So
I'm hoping the Easter Bunny brings me a basket.
I got a basket once as a grown-up. It was really great.
Why don't you be my Easter Bunny while you're shopping today? Put me together a basket.
Easter is my favorite holiday, I will say, without question. Always loved Easter. Tell my sister ruined it. Just kidding.
Hmm?
I said, tell my sister ruined it. No, she didn't.
Wow.
I was just piling on. Oh, no, Kings. I'm on the email list for these indivisible nut jobs. We're outraged about. I'm like, all right. No Kings. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I agree. America doesn't want a king. You know what kings don't do? Kings don't worry about other people's wars. Right? Kings don't invite other people to come into their homeland to bring their wares at a significant upcharge so that the money benefits the kingdom. Right? You know what kings don't do? Kings don't care what you think. Kings do whatever they want. Kings would not give back their pay. Kings are kingly. They want to become and stay monarchs forever, right? Donald Trump realizes he's got a short window of opportunity. He realizes that nothing's happening fast in the Senate. He's super annoyed by it. And so what does he say? John Thune needs to get his head out of his rump, do what he knows needs to be done. There must be pressure from a king would just say, and so it shall be done, and wave their magic wand the way Democrats did during COVID. Like, those are the people who pretended like kings. They were kings. Those were the people who held the proverbial gun to your head. Take the shot or lose your job. That's something a king would say, right? A king wouldn't look out for you. And of course, we all know this. It's not no kings. It's all about this paid astroturf pretend thing that they want us to believe is super authentic, except there's zero diversity, right? It's all middle-aged white people, right? Middle-aged white people, to their credit, God bless them. Retirees who are like, you know what, honey? I'm kind of done with being retired. I don't want to go get a job at like Walmart as a greeter. I want to go and meet people. I want to go find other people and do whatever and make a few bucks. Why can't we do that? Honey, you're right. We can. Let's subscribe to the Indivisibles website. I joined it too, guys, and I get all of the updates. No King's Rally meeting near you. Bring your favorite malignant friends. We'll provide the sign. We've got the talking points. Meet here at this point. You're done at this time. When you clock out, bada bing. We've got you. We'll pay you. It's over. What a great deal you could get here. What a gig. It's just high up, you guys. Organizers say this weekend's protests were all about garbage. Of course it was. So this is the BBC's take. I like to give you guys different smatterings from different areas on what's going on here in America. No King's protests draw large crowds to rally against Donald Trump. Literally. What are you upset about with this president? He's closing our borders. He's trying to fix all the things that are financially crazy. He's trying to protect American interests. He's putting America first. He cares about our sons and our daughters. He wants you to feel confident in the electoral process. He needs to follow the law he knows, but he's tired of being a victim of lawfare. What exactly are we protesting? Public enemy number one, right? I'm going to read you 2 paragraphs of this and we'll see what happens. Large protests against the Trump administration have taken place in cities across the U.S., marking the 3rd iteration of No Kings rallies. Event organizers, for Saturday's protest estimated more than 8 million people would attend. I think the overall number was maybe a couple 100,000. Brock, you said you drove by one in Massachusetts, maybe had a couple. How many people?
I want to say maybe 100 at most.
Maybe 100. Many of you have sent me a video driving by your own people out there. It's all the same people. Event organizers say Trump wants to rule over us as a tyrant. You know, it's curious because all you need to say to that is how? How? How does he want to rule over you? How? Because he doesn't want illegal alien dudes who are criminals and mentally insane raping your daughter, kidnapping your wife, or murdering your mom on the street. Is that tyrannical stuff? Trump wants to rule over us as a tyrant. How? He wants to clean up our education system because it's an epic failure. And you're going to learn more about that coming up in hour number 3. Is that how he's a tyrant? He wants to give America's sons and daughters, I don't know, an education again that involves handwriting, cursive, math, science, all of the STEM stuff? Really? Is that tyrannical? Or is that logical? Is that necessary? A White House spokesperson called the protests Trump derangement therapy sessions and said the only people who care are the reporters who are paid to cover them. I probably don't disagree with that, right? All these people getting... So look, I think these are more of a social thing. Who brings their banjo or their ukulele or their guitar and starts singing like folk songs like you're at Woodstock, right? And you're a bunch of old white people. That's not a protest. That's a meet and greet. That's a hookup. That's old people looking at each other being like, dang, I'm not completely out of it yet. That's what it is. I want you to hear Azra Nomani. This woman is a deep diving investigator for Fox News. You don't usually see her out. She's doing all this stuff behind the scenes. But they bring her onto the show over the weekend, and they're like, look, let's talk about what you've discovered about what funds this No Kings protest. We all know it's not authentic. It's not grassroots. It's not a bunch of people all coming out together and being like, oh my gosh, we're all in it together. Woo! It's total manufactured garbage. And this is what she says. These protesters are orchestrated. They are choreographed, and they are deeply and darkly bankrolled.
I did the numbers, and there are about 500 organizations that were behind the No Kings protests. They want to call it grassroots. It's 100% AstroTurf. There are well-intentioned people that you walked among who came out, but the command and control was from these 500 groups with, get this, a $3 billion budget collectively. And where does their political influence, their political contributions, and their, individual employee donations go, but mostly to the Democratic Party. And that's why we see this silence. And unfortunately, they pull their punches on the issues that matter to you, for example, that you just cited, because that would mean turning against the Democratic politicians that they're trying to keep in power.
This talk, this being authentic, real protesters don't all clock out at the same time. Like they're at General Motors assembly plant and the buzzer sounds and it's a shift change. And so hard, the hard hat, steel-toed dudes with the lunch boxes walk out and the next shift walks in. That's not what you're supposed to see at a protest, right? A guy on the street outside one of these No Kings protests on Saturday, he's out there as like they pack up for the night. It's 7:00. It's like, bzzz, time to load up, pack the stuff in the car. See ya, Phil. Take care, Steve. Bye, Sheila. I'll see you next time, right? This is what the guy finds. Listen to this.
If you've ever wondered how protests happen on the spot, this is exactly how. Without organizers, without the music, without the bullhorns, without all of these people coming together. And right now what they're doing is they're loading their trucks to leave out of here after they finish with the protest. None of the protests that you see that happen immediately after something happens, which is all the time now, wouldn't be possible. What's behind me is a combination of Party for Socialism and Liberation. We have Democrat Socialists of America here as well, and a couple very loose communist organizations like Revolutionary Communists for America. None of the protests that you see are organic. They're well organized, and because they're well organized, that means they're well funded through various campaigns, whether it's foreign influence campaigns or it could be even Democrat campaigns. So this is how it all happens.
You've got progressives, young progressives, socialist, communist progressives who don't know any better, right? And then you've got the senior citizens who do know better. And they're making a buck or two pretending like this is their jam. And who are they funded by? Yeah, George Soros. Of course it's George Soros. We all know it's George Soros. It's also that Neville Singham guy who is married to the Code Pink nightmare. These people And their life mission, it's not about helping somebody. It's not about being a voice for the voiceless. It's not about democracy. It's about being malignant and making sure all they do is be angry and resist. Resist every judicial nominee, resist everything that Trump does, resist every agenda item, resist everything the guy puts out. Resist, 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 resist. That's all they care about. They never care about you. Ever. So did you hear about Jim Acosta? This is sad, actually. You know, I don't like this guy, CNN hack, Jim Acosta, who was just a jerk. Trump and he always butted heads. He was rude. He's a partisan hack, period. And he got booted from his job. Okay, whatever. That sucks. But so he's landed in some podcast space where he thinks he's still relevant. So he's out and about. And he's at one of these No Kings protests over the weekend, and he stops a bunch of these people to read their signs. None of them knows who he is. None of them cares who he is. And it's sad. Our political parties are going through a major transformation. Progressives have overrun the Democrats. MAGA is telling the rhinos, you don't do enough. We're moving you aside. But then you've got the media folk who are so partisan, who are so biased. There is no coming back for Jim Acosta. This is him with a protester holding a sign that reads, okay, cholesterol, do your job. Basically saying, hopefully Trump has a heart attack and dies. Lovely. Jim Acosta thinks it's funny. But the sad part is how uncomfortable this exchange is and how Jim Acosta is the only one who doesn't realize he's washed up.
And then these folks were, these are some very colorful and clever signs here. It says, okay, cholesterol, do your job. I think I know what that means. That's very funny. It's very clever. And then this one has Vladimir Putin with a very tiny, small person, Donald Trump, that says, I did this. The Epstein files aren't in Iran. That's very true. And many of the Epstein files have not been released. Millions of them have not been released. And so folks are wondering that too, but excellent signs. Thank you very much. I stopped these nice people to let me show their signs. Very happy to meet all of you. Thank you so much for stopping and saying hello. Thank you so much. Have a great No Kings Day.
Nobody cares at all. They don't know who he is. See, this whole movement, the No Kings movement, is going to be as washed up and a relic the same way Jim Acosta is. Hopefully sooner rather than later. There is nothing good for America that comes from that kind of malignant activism funded by dark money donors who hate America. Other than that, I've got nothing. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, did you guys hear the one about the Democrat who reportedly flipped a Florida state house district that includes President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate? A Democrat who flipped it. Well, about that. Oh boy. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. You know, I love when coworkers who hang out together and have lunch breaks together decide to use their lunch breaks to lift weights and hold each other accountable and lose a lot of weight. And this is one of these stories that Kelly Morgan from Morgan's Fitness has sent me. Look at the guys on the bottom and look at their bodies up on the top. I mean, let's see. Combined, we've lost a total of 218 pounds. They've lost a fourth adult male, essentially, with their weight loss. That's what they've lost. Andy lost 93. Ben lost 85. Jeff lost 40. With the help of Morgan's Fitness, that's where they go for their lunch. Not to eat, but to go work out. You can make huge changes in your body in a matter of weeks just by getting moving. Kelly Morgan and Morgain's Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com. She'll get you moving. 90 Ignite. That's the program. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to be out in public. You don't have to buy any expensive equipment. You can do this at home. If you're willing to, give it 90 days to change how you eat and some of your habits and to start moving. You too can have a complete, total transformation. MORGAINZ fitness.com. Very nice. The protests are silly, unfortunate, unbecoming, unhelpful. Nobody moves the needle any which way. 593 comments. Let's break the internet. Maybe this is our new jam. I'll have to have my numbers guru, Alan, crunch the data today because our rumbles aren't terrific, 2.22, but 593 comments is pretty dandy. Did you guys all tell me that I was fabulous?
I didn't see that.
You didn't? So, I hope he's not listening, but I told Michael, who Ryan's trying to bring home for Easter, who's very busy at his job, and I told him over the weekend, I do not expect you to come home. Do not break your neck to come home. You do you. I kind of lied a little bit.
About what?
I was like, it's fine. I love him to come home. I would love that. That would be so great.
I was hoping for an invite to come over and drink beer.
Well, you can.
On Saturday.
Yeah, come on over on Saturday for sure. Absolutely.
Sort of kind of a tradition.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love it. Of course you're invited. Duh. Oh my gosh. I love you guys. You know what? Thank you for making our lives so enjoyable. I really so appreciate it. You make us enjoy what we do. Thank you. Oh, I ordered tulip blooms for my sister's birthday.
Well, now she's going to know.
She doesn't listen to me. She doesn't listen.
I didn't get her anything.
You didn't get her anything?
Mm-mm.
Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I remember this last week. It was kind of all over the place. A Democrat managing to flip a Republican seat in a district that covers the president's Mar-a-Lago estate. And you're like, wait a minute, how is that even possible? Is that for real? And what does that mean about how the Republican Party is doing in general? Well, we've got this razor-thin majority. If California is able to gerrymander the bejeebers out of what they're going to do, you can kiss goodbye 4 or 5 Republican House seats. Now you're in a serious pickle. And this is why everybody who's paying attention, who realizes that Democrats, by and large, now that they've been hijacked by this progressive wing, right, that they will nuke the filibuster and they will railroad whatever it is, whether it's hamstringing the president, whether it's packing the court, whether it's spending, whether it's restrictions, whether it's retribution against people who dared to drain the swamp. Whatever it is, I'm like, how is this possible? Well, then the story broke from the Gateway Pundit over the weekend. Just in. Palm Beach elections volunteer arrested for stealing computer equipment and encrypted access key ahead of special election won by Democrat. Say what? Let's get some of the nitty gritty here. A Palm Beach, Florida elections volunteer was arrested for stealing computer equipment, encrypted access keys ahead of a special election where a Democrat reportedly won by 800 votes. John Panici was arrested on Friday for taking sensitive computer equipment and other supplies on March 19th ahead of the March 24th special election. A Democrat flipped that Florida State House district that includes President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. Emily Gregory is her name. She won State House District 87 in last Tuesday night's special election, we're told. President Trump won the district by 11 points in 2024. That would be a precipitous decline and a huge flip. Well, last Monday, ahead of the election, President Trump endorsed Republican John Maples for State House District 87. However, Emily Gregory defeated the Republican. That's odd. That doesn't happen. President Trump has something like a 98%. What is it called? What would we even call it? 98% track record of success when the people he endorses wins. And this woman in his own county, his own district, would win by 800 votes? However, it seems kind of weird, doesn't it? A man accused of stealing election equipment in Palm Beach County gets arrested on Saturday, right? And then after the week prior, this broad wins the Mar-a-Lago County area vote. Do you guys think this is weird? During their investigation, detectives said that on March 19th, the elections office was doing a training session for volunteers who were going to help with the election scheduled on March 24th. Detectives said that during the training session, Panici stole an encrypted access key. I don't know. That sounds kind of important. The key that Panici allegedly took was programmed only for the training databases, they say. But there were concerns that if someone else could reverse engineer the encryption, they could then use it on a voter registration kiosk for malicious purposes. So now you're like, what happened? Sounds weird. Why would this woman now, if Donald Trump was a king, he wouldn't care what you thought. He wouldn't care what the senators thought. We would do elections however President Trump saw. And he would likely make sure, if he in fact was a king, that he would win. That he would win, that Republicans would win, that it would always work out in our favor. What does this president say? There's too much cheating. There's too many anomalies. There's too much that is too obnoxiously unbelievable. Like a liberal winning by 800 votes, a district Trump won by 11 points just a year and a half ago, and against a candidate who the president himself, with a 98% endorsement success track record, got behind. And yet when people are like, that seems weird, they're like, you're an election denier. Does anybody else wonder why the House was so adamant recently that their Republican colleagues, as part of this DHS funding, would go on the record as saying Joe Biden was the unequivocal winner in 2020 without question? Why would they want that in writing? I don't know. I'm just a woman. What can I say? I deserve.
Are you sure? Can you define it?
I deserve my own month, damn it. And it starts now. When we come back, hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends. Fake protests seem far dumber when you see the real American struggle. Next. Got an update.
It starts now and ends tomorrow.
That's right. This is my time.
Reclaiming my time.
World. I'm going to get to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I don't understand why they'd make it March. I don't know. Can anybody explain that to me? Why March? What's significant about March and women? Other than Mother's Day, you know. But that's, is Mother's Day a Hallmark holiday? I mean, most men out there consider Mother's Day pretty much a regular holiday every year, or at least should be. I don't need Hallmark to tell me, but yeah, I don't get what it is with, I mean, but then again, why is June, why did they give June to the alphabet people? Why do we need a holiday or a month for that? Can you explain that? What is it about March that they feel that that's a woman's month? Like,
I don't know. You know, like
what's October? Breast cancer awareness.
But
like,
why do they have to? Why do you have to jam it down people's throats? I feel that way about the whole transgender stuff, gay stuff.
Yeah, Trans Visibility Day.
I don't care. Just leave me out of it. Most of us are wholly apathetic about it until you start making us pay for it. I want to tell you about two things. I want to tell you about the healthy fat. So I'm going to say this. I don't like sitting through videos. Dr. Gundry forces you to sit through a video to order thehealthyfat.com. Okay? I have an empty jar of it because I'm waiting.
Impatiently.
I'm waiting impatiently. I just bought it, right? So literally Joe and I are in South Carolina and I need to, and it's nighttime and I'm ready to go to bed. And he's like, what are you doing? What's this video? And I got my AirPods in and I'm like, and I'm watching Dr. Gundry. He goes through all of this stuff about why the food you think is good for you might not be good for you. And then all of these metabolic things that go on with you that you might not know about, that he didn't know about, that he found out about. And he created this so that you could lose significant amounts of weight by drinking a powder. It's delicious. Blueberry, raspberry, the watermelon lemonade. It's off the grid. It's off the grid. What it does for me is it absolutely crushes my appetite for 5 hours, 5 solid hours. I don't hear chirping in my head. You want a Snickers bar? News lady's got a king size Snickers. Nobody's saying that in my. I want nothing. I am satisfied and it's delicious. You've got to watch the video to order the product. Watch the video. It's important. You'll learn so much. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. I'm paying for this. Isn't some freebie that they're giving me. I want more. I want more. I want to drink more. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Lose weight. Manage your everything, right? And have it be safe. Slow and safe, but predictable. You're already drinking water. Put a scoop of that in it and let me know how much you love me. WendyBellRadio@gmail.com.
I just checked because you said News Lady loves king size Snickers. It is a Saturday this year.
Right.
So Halloween.
Oh. That's
You
so
better
much
not-
better.
What's that?
That's so much better.
Yeah, but last year it was a Friday and you were away for the weekend. You were in Boston.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to interrupt your schedule. Hey, it's fun when Brock and Kate come because Kate loves giving out candy. I don't really care for it. She loves it. And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah, it just
You go be you, Kate.
more people. I
But
think
she's
last time
fine and so much fun with it. I'm like, you're so cute.
more people showed up to sit down and have a beer. than-
Yes. Right? 100%. All right, so I'm going to tell you this real fast. I got this for my sister. I put together a care package. If I had one thing I want to talk to Tulip Blooms about, I would say I wish we could expedite shipping because my sister's birthday is Friday and it doesn't look like it's going to get to her in time, which sucks.
It'd be
I
way
got
too long.
I got her the velour massaging oil. This is the oil for dry hands, cracked feet, elbows, any part of your body that needs love and moisture. Changes your world. It absorbs in 5 minutes, so let it soak in, or else you'll leave little greasy marks. After 5 minutes, you're like, And then you're like, what else can I rub? Right? I've got this. And then they have this blue calming oil. Do you have rosacea? Is your face splotchy? Is it all like, does it get all angry at you? This calming blue face. Got that for her and a candle. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. If I'm sending it to my sister, I'm paying for it. You know that I love this product. I would not send her something that sucked. I think it's wonderful. Tulip Blooms, tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. I'm just saying. I got out for $150. And that for a sister, you want something that's special. It's like Mother's Day. You want something that's special. I don't want to just get you something that's $60 and be like, congratulations. I want you to have something that's special. And it arrives and you're like, wow. tulipblooms.shop/Wendy. What were you going to say?
New open alert.
Shut
New rush open alert.
Shut the front door. I knew I liked Mondays. I love this. What?
I just found out Kate used the tulip blooms in the foot massager when I was away. I can't go away anymore. This is ridiculous. Can't have nice things.
We'll get her own.
I can't have nice things.
4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
It goes back, I think, to election night. They didn't expect Trump to win, and they weren't prepared for Trump to win, and they're still unhappy that Trump won. And I think Washington establishment, both parties, it's a small club, it's elite. You can't get in it because you want to get in it. It's they don't have a clubhouse. But Trump would never be admitted in this club, no matter what he did. These guys have been running the country. It's donors, it's think tanks, it's the whole Washington media, the whole establishment. Trump's an outsider. They have been managing the country, ruling the country for however many decades. They can't afford for an outsider neophyte to come in and redo everything, fix things in 3 months, fix things in a year, show that it can be done, show that an outsider can do it, show that what they say can't be done can be done. I think they're petrified, and they're all united, Republicans and Democrats, it's not just the Senate, in making sure that Trump, the outsider, doesn't succeed with his agenda.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. You know, Americans are really good at doing. Americans, regardless of politics, are really good at banding together to help people in other places. We're good at sending aid or resources or equipment or supplies, and we're really good at having our heartstrings pulled when we see a 90-year-old veteran or what have you working at Walmart as a greeter because he doesn't have enough money to make ends meet and needed to go back to work. Like, there are some things we can band together around universally. And helping people with mental illness who are homeless, we've got to do a better job. We've got to do a better job. This story that we shared with you last week, a Fox LA report from reporter Matthew Seedorf, was stunning and probably not unusual. There was video of a woman popping up out of the ground, out of a sewer grate. Not popping out like she was doing work there and was surveying. She lived in the sewer. of Los Angeles. And that reporter was shell-shocked. Like, in the United States of America, the most bountiful, amazing, fledgling constitutional republic, there should be no one who has no home or has no food or has no hope. And it's exacerbated when you deal with drug addiction and this homeless industrial complex, which is just one giant grift. The more people you can have on the street, the more ancillary helper funds you need to have. Well, we need to make sure they get their meds. Well, we need to make sure we do the blah, blah, blah. Well, let's make sure we do this outreach. It's almost always garbage. And the needle is never moved. People don't get off the street, be absorbed into some kind of a facility where they can bathe and have dignity and have a clean place to spend the night. The problem's just gotten worse. And then somebody identified the woman who Fox LA reporter Matthew Seedorf caught coming out of that sewer grate. Her family. They recognized her. Mother of 3, living in the sewer. And I wanted to play for you this update because it is a plea for help. And it's one family, but how many more are out there? And how dare the senators just bounce? How dare Karen Bass think that she should run for re-election? How dare these tone-deaf people who never make anything better? How dare they when you hear a report like this?
Susan, this really is heartbreaking. Pictures and videos from better times revealing the person behind the headlines they're trying to get back.
If I could take back the past.
A voice once full of life. Now hard to understand.
How
did she get in the situation that she's in?
Drugs.
Loved ones say this woman is 43-year-old Jamila Robinson, a mother of 3.
She's a wonderful person, a loving person.
We first found her last week in South LA, living in a storm drain.
When I viewed it, it just so happened to be my sister, and that's how I found out about her living situation.
Her sister, Camila, hadn't seen her in years. Were you surprised when you saw what she was living in?
No.
Well, their mother, Linda, says she speaks with Jamila almost every day.
It's the second time she's been in the sewer. The one up on Winters, it was like 20 of them over there.
20 in one sewer?
In one sewer. They had to cover it up.
Last week, Fox 11 first exposed the underground encampment where Jamila climbed in and out, not willing to say much on camera. Below ground, human waste, trash, and an overpowering stench. I gotta get back. As a mom,
I'm dying. I'm dead. I tried, Matthew. I've done everything I was told. As long as she could tell me no, or tell the courts no, that she didn't want the help, they couldn't help her.
Within 24 hours of our exclusive report, the city moved in. Hazmat crews declaring it a hot zone. The next day, sealing the drain shut with asphalt. Wednesday, the last time we saw Jamila, outreach teams offering help as she walks away.
I'm saddened to see that she just walks away like that. Would love to see them be more forceful in helping her.
Just take her, because she's not mentally able to think straight for herself.
If it was a daughter or sister or mother of the mayor's, where is such a place that she would take them? Right. Instead of just allowing them to walk away, forcefully come to them and say, hey, I'm here to help you.
The woman once known for singing, now still out there.
I know it's hard sometimes.
while her family's fighting to find her voice again.
I couldn't get the courts to see the mentalness in her. Now the world can see the mentalness in her. And maybe I can get the help that I need and she needs now.
I would want to tell her that I love you, Jamila, and that I am here standing and speaking on your behalf, and that I want to fight for them, for the city, for the mayor to not just give up on you, but to actually pour into you where you are unable to pour into yourself.
Jamila hasn't been seen or heard from since Wednesday. Her family says they're going to keep pushing for her health and more aggressive intervention.
So they kept saying if this was the mayor's sister, the mayor would force her, Jamila, to get some help. But that's actually against the law.
Yeah, I mean, this is a much broader issue than just what she's experiencing. There's thousands of people across LA living on the streets that just won't accept treatment. So the question is, what do you do with those people? How do you get them the help that they clearly need?
How do you get them the help that they clearly need? See, Democrats look at that problem. Let's just say the Uniparty. The Uniparty looks at Jamila as an opportunity. We've got things we need to create. We'll have a task force. We'll allocate some funds from this ballot initiative, right? We're going to get some and then all of a sudden you have $34 billion in a state meant to address homelessness and mental health issues and drug addiction that have not homed a single person. I don't know if that's factually correct. I don't know how many people have been taken off the street. If it was something triumphant, you know that the state of California would champion that. And so we've got a majority of people who act as do-gooders, right? Majority of people who pretend to be outraged by that. Oh, how awful. Someone's in the drain. Donald Trump says, I want the scourge of freaking drugs ending now. You come to my country on a boat and you've got drugs, I will kill you. If you don't believe me, I will show you video of it. And I don't give a damn what you think. 20 times. It's amazing what happens. Nobody seems like they want to be speedboating in drugs to America. Trump is the one person to say what needs to be said. He is the person who does what needs to be done. You can clutch your pearls, you can pretend you are offended, but what's everybody else doing? Nothing. Nothing. Trump, the king, that is, who worries about his fiefdom that much. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, hey, Eric Swalwell, who dreams of failing upwards to the California governor's mansion, about that Chinese spy you were sleeping with. Ooh, Kash Patel opening up this investigation. Next. I think perhaps one of the things I'm most excited about, proactively speaking, that is the most affordable, life-changing addition to my diet is taking collagen. Honest to God. If you do a cursory search, what does collagen, what does it do? How do I know I need it? What does having more do for me? Your face will slowly melt off, so you have to be careful because you don't want to have to put it all back together right before Easter, right? Collagen, the most abundant protein in the body. Collagen, which our body stops really making all that well after the age of 50. So like as my ovaries are raisins, my collagen is also into the toilet, right? And it matters. It matters for your joints, for your cartilage, for your bone health. It matters for your muscles. It matters for your hair, skin, and nails. Collagen matters for your gut. It matters for your clarity. It matters for... So when I'm like, hey, native path friends, Would you like to do something with me? Because I'd like to get serious about taking collagen peptides. They were like, abso-freaking-lutely. The more we can spread the word. Look, getnativepath.com/Wendy. Prices that you will not find other places, up to 45% off. Getnativepath.com/Wendy. These are proactive things I'm doing. They didn't reach out to me and were like, hey, we really want to sponsor your show and sell some of our stuff. I just reached out to them and was like, I love your product. Do you want to give my people a discount? And they were like, yes. That's what this is. Collagen peptide support for bones, joints, skin, hair, nails, and digestion. I'm fighting it, man. I can't stop the hands of time, but I want to slow them down a little bit. Getnativepath.com/Wendy. Pretty awesome product. Odorless, flavorless, dissolved, like that. You could put it in yogurt. You could put it on your cereal. You could put it in water. You could put it in your coffee. You could put it in whatever you're drinking. Just take it. And then even Get Native Path, it shows you on their website, okay, if I only take 10 milligrams, what's the benefit for that? If I take 20 milligrams, what's the benefit for that? And it shows you who's it for, who's it not. Thank you. Thanks, getnativepath.com/Wendy. I love them. Super responsive company, too. They want to do right by you. I know this. I wouldn't fiddle with them if they didn't. I hope my sister likes the tulip blooms.
Why wouldn't she?
I think it's just such a cute package, too. They send it to you. It's super cute how they wrap it. It's got like little schnorgels in it that look like they look like
little what?
They're like little curly cues or little pieces
What
of
did you call them, though?
schnorgels.
What's a schnorgel?
Well, if you didn't interrupt me and let me finish what I was saying.
Excuse me. Schnorgel.
It's like you took a piece of brown paper and you made it into strips and you put it through if you've ever wrapped gifts and you do the ribbon, right?
Is that an official name or
cues.
is
no,
this
but
like
it's
allegedly?
Cute. It's cute. It's allegedly. Yeah, it's schnorgels.
Okay. Well, then how?
Well, I was explaining it. I was giving you edification. You were just delaying it. That's all. I told you it was going to be a little different today.
So when I was in Connecticut, my buddy and his parents said, I told them about the Christmas ornaments. And they said we should get our picture taken like Step Brothers and the cheesy Christmas sweaters and stuff. And then with a wreath around that whole thing.
Yeah. No. Is that while you were eating her cheesecake with the blueberry compote on top that was homemade?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Here's Wendy.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program. Okay, so thehill.com has this interesting article today. FBI director pushes to release investigative files on Representative Eric Swalwell. What? Why ever would we do that? Eric Swalwell considers himself a shoo-in to become California's next governor of suck. FBI Director Kash Patel pushing for the release of files related to an investigation into Representative Eric Swalwell's interactions with a suspected Chinese spy. According to reports from the New York Times and the Washington Post, it must be true then. FBI agents and other personnel in California have been directed to gather and redact sensitive information from documents in preparation for sharing with senior Trump administration officials, according to the New York Times, citing three people familiar with the matter. The files stem from a decade-old counterintelligence probe into a Chinese woman known both as Christine Fang and Fang Fang, who reportedly helped Swalwell with fundraising, I'll bet you she did, and placing an intern in his office during the 2014 campaign cycle. He was not accused of criminal wrongdoing, severed ties with Fang in 2015 after being briefed by U.S. intelligence officials, blah, blah, blah. 2-year House ethics probe into the matter concluded in 2023. Without taking further action, Kash Patel's like, hey, I got the files, let's do the files, he'll release the files. You guys redact them, send them to the president, let's get them out. Okay, well, that might not be a big deal if he didn't do anything, but Eric Swalwell has just been criminally referred for indictment for mortgage fraud. Here's Martha McCallum and Peter Ducey with the news.
Fox can now confirm that California Democrat Congressman Eric Swalwell has been criminally referred to the Department of Justice accused of mortgage fraud. Senior White House correspondent Peter Ducey reporting live on this breaking news on Eric Swalwell from the North Lawn. Hey, Peter.
Martha, as I was walking up here to do a hit on a different topic, I got a call from an administration official filling us in that Eric Swalwell, the Democratic California congressman, has indeed been referred to the Justice Department by Bill Pulte, who is the head of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac right now, because he is accused of making false or misleading statements on a mortgage application. We believe that this pertains to a $1.2 million house that Swalwell has in the Washington, D.C. area. Swalwell has already responded. Part of his very long statement says, as the most vocal critic of Donald Trump over the last decade, and as the only person who still has a surviving lawsuit against him, the only thing I am surprised about is that it took him this long to come after me. Like James Comey and John Bolton, Adam Schiff and Lisa Cook, Letitia James, and the dozens more to come, I refuse to live in fear in what was once the freest country in the world. Now, Swalwell has not been charged with anything. This is a criminal referral. Basically, a government agency thinks that they spotted something that is possibly illegal on mortgage documents from Swalwell. The Justice Department will now review these documents to see if a prosecutor believes that charges are worthy in this case, and then we would go from there in the judicial process. Martha.
From the Article 3 project tells Laura Ingraham later that Swalwell basically threatening Federal Housing Finance Agency Bill Pulte with retribution. Not a good look.
Just went on MSNBC and is now threatening Trump officials. Watch.
When we're in the majority, we will have subpoena power and accountability will happen. So Bill Pulte and any other lawless official who is carrying out these political prosecutions on behalf of Donald Trump, they should familiarize themselves with the Judiciary Committee room, because they're going to be spending a lot of time there answering questions. And I sure hope everything they did was above board.
They mean to respond to this if they win the House. Your sense about whether these investigations are valid from what you know and worth it in the long run?
Well, I would say this first off with Eric Swalwell. Well, that sounds like obstruction of justice when you are threatening to go after federal investigators for investigating you for a federal crime. So maybe that's another charge that the Justice Department should tack on to his investigation. I also just found this, Laura, this tweet from Eric Swalwell back on March 13th, 2019. He said this, and I'll quote you. "If you commit fraud in this country, you will be indicted and justice will be served. Plain and simple. No one is above the law." And he wrote, cough, Donald Trump, cough. So I would say this to Eric Swalwell: if you committed mortgage fraud, you will be indicted and justice will be served.
Isn't it all so interesting? That could really dash his California governor's dreams, as President Trump seems poised to make two, let's just say, recommendations. He's looking like he's going to endorse Ken Paxton in Texas for not John Thune seat, but over John Cornyn for the Texas Senate seat. And it looks like the president is set to come out soon with an endorsement in the California gubernatorial race before the primary. Who will it be? Chad Bianco or Steve Hilton? Well, it ain't going to be Eric Swalwell. Hopefully Fang still has his number. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, California's problem with money. Where did all of the money for the schools go? Oh my, buckle up next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Disinfect with Sniper. You guys, disinfectwithsniper.com. Sniper is going to totally change the way you think about cleaning. I mean, it's wild because it's mild enough to wash your hands in, but it's powerful enough to kill tough pathogens, including MRSA and all the viruses that can cause the flu and COVID-19. And it's perfect for all sorts of things, disinfecting and cleaning hospitals. How about cleaning toys, cleaning nurseries, cleaning pet areas that can get kind of stinky and funky? How about your kitchen, your bathroom, anything that's high traffic where a lot of hands are, where a lot of germs are? You need to have some Sniper on hand. Disinfectwithsniper.com. This is the product that Brock and I have been using. I've been using it not as long as Brock. He's well beyond 5 years. I'm about 5 years that I've been using it. I do not use other products to disinfect my house. I do not. I do not use anything else on the shower floor because it kills fungal infections like the ones that cause athlete's foot. It kills everything, and it smells pleasant and is completely safe for pets and for your children. Right? Disinfectwithsniper.com. Everything on that site, I think you're going to be very pleased about.
What works? Someone asked what works better, Sniper or Knockout? For smell, they both do.
Mm-hmm.
They both do. I would say the difference is Knockout's great for the odor elimination, but not the residual 30 days of taking care of the germs that
there is a when you spray Sniper on something, you don't even have to wipe it away. It stays active, and it doesn't discolor things. You can spray it on sporting equipment that gets funky, shoes, pads, all of it.
If you have dog beds, it's great for dog beds.
Mm-hmm. And so you don't have to, I mean, for ours, you take off the cover periodically and put it in the laundry machine. This way you can keep it fresh in between washings, and you're not masking odor with perfume or fragrance. You smell clean. You smell clean. That's all I can say. I spray it in the
Sniper.
Mm-hmm. It's because it's
that
working.
Means it's working, which is pretty cool. And don't forget, beginning of next month, it's going to have a sale on the new Harmony that's for your plants. And I don't know when the mosquito.
Oh,
stuff
sign
is
me
coming
up.
out.
Remember how we were talking about that? We were trying to figure out.
And I did you guys a solid.
If one blood
he was
type.
going to do a 1 day. I said, no, we got to do 3 days.
Wow. Listen to you browbeating your friend.
Well,
you know what? I'm supposed to talk about Rumble Wallet. And I want to say this to you. This is something that might be interesting for you and it might not. But I love that Rumble is deeply committed to giving you alternatives. They created this platform that we're all on, and I appreciate that we've been on exclusively for years. Why? Because they do not censor speech. You can say things that you won't be allowed to say other places here. Because in the court of public opinion, you sink or you swim. Right? Rumble knows this. It's not their battleground. They also know that if all sorts of banks can basically freeze the assets and liquidity of Donald Trump during his presidency, even when he was not president, what could they do to you and to me? And so Rumble created Rumble Wallet. It's they call it a self-custodial wallet that lives inside this whole online environment called Rumble that actually defends free speech and financial freedom. There's no bank holding your balance. Not even Rumble can touch your funds. It's your money on your terms, your access. You do it all. If you're already using Bitcoin or stable coins, Rumble Wallet gives you even more power. Most wallets stop at just storage. Rumble Wallet connects your money to a marketplace of ideas that refuses to cave to censorship. So if you're serious about your own financial freedom, financial and digital, this is where you can level up. Go to wallet.rumble.com or you can search just Rumble Wallet in your app store. Download it, back up your recovery phrase, and then move your money where it belongs, which is in your hands. It is an option for you. And they are delighted to send it to you, give it to you. So Rumble Wallet, technology provider, is a technology provider only, not a custodial service. See terms at wallet.rumble.com. Very interesting. Very interesting. What's wrong?
My computer just.
Huh.
That's 7 years old. I shouldn't be surprised.
I'm feeling like I'm going to need to get one here soon. Seven years is a long time. Is that has the toggle bar that you like?
Yeah, this is my backup.
Why I didn't tell Demanda she could be off today.
Slacker.
Total slacker. Hopefully she's well.
She's not here. We don't have to care.
Isn't that story about the woman? How many families? I know families who are dealing with mental illness right now. Mental illness plus addiction.
What family doesn't have it?
Equals.
It's not connected to the internet.
Number not that long ago during that whole transgender mutilation sanctuary city, bring your kids to us and we'll cut them up for you kind of phase. So disturbing, so wrong on so many levels. And I read that one perfectly beautiful child's body is worth $1.4 million in the whole train of transgender lunacy, from the hormone things, the puberty blockers, to going all the way. It's a money gravy train. And only a sick, twisted debacle of a human being, a monster, would look at a child and see dollar signs and be like, whatever. They signed the consent. It's got to be good, right? If your children, if America's children can be yet another one of these groups of people that we all know should be untouchable, should be protected by all of us. And that is a group that is preyed upon by a salivating group of monsters, should raise every red flag. The school system and the failures of the schools, guys. It's on purpose. Right? It's on purpose. And this president has upset every single traditional institution that you and I never really paid a lot of attention to, which is so curious. And now we are. He dismantles the Department of Education. And Randy Weingarten and the other people in the teachers' unions flip their lids. Why aren't you flipping your lids over the growing illiteracy rate of America's children? Because you know what you do when you keep failing kids in the public system year after year after year? They ultimately have nowhere to go. There's nowhere to land if you cannot get a job because you cannot read. You end up like that woman living in the sewer. And they know it. So this fraud in the Los Angeles Unified School District, second largest school district next to the New York City schools, where in federal funding per student, per year, you and I pay $26,900 per pupil just in that one school district. Now, all of a sudden, there are tens of millions of dollars missing in a district that is now $900 billion excuse me, $900 million, nearly $1 billion in debt. Do you think it's sort of like the Postal Service, right? How is it that we can fund and give and pay and do all this stuff and it's never enough? And still the budget's short? It's different when it's your mail than when it's your child. So I want to read this to you. Los Angeles Unified School District scandal leads to $22 million in funds in one scandal drained from a fund meant for students. Let's read about this quickly before we hear a little news alert. A former Los Angeles Unified School District IT employee and a tech company owner are facing felony charges in what prosecutors describe as one of the largest alleged money laundering schemes in the district's history. Now, that's disturbing. One of the largest money laundering schemes in the school district's history, meaning there have been others that give this one a run for its money, which makes us say, what the hell are we doing besides not overseeing these organizations? Hong Peng, a former LAUSD technical project manager, and Gotham Sampath, owner of the tech firm Inive, are accused of orchestrating a years-long pay-to-play scheme that allegedly steered more than $22 million in school district contracts to Sampath's company. The case involves a blatant abuse of public trust, funneling taxpayer dollars intended for students into personal coffers. This vendor, working with the Los Angeles Unified School District project manager, allegedly carried out a multi-year, multi-contract pay-to-play arrangement that siphoned millions of dollars from our schools. You could take this, you could take the players out of it, you could take the specifics out of it and drop it in Minnesota, and it's the same thing. You could take it, drop it in New York, it's the same thing. You could take it, drop it in Illinois, it's the same thing. Remember all of the iPads? Because we had to do all of the at-home learning. Oh no, COVID, your kids are vectors of disease. Everybody's gonna die. People are dropping like flies. Stay home. Don't worry about it, said the Chicago Public Schools. We've got a solution for you. It's called an iPad, right? And then all of the equipment went missing. $73 or $78 million later. They're like, I don't know. I have no idea where it all went. It's so weird. Really? I want you to hear this incredulous Fox breaking news as the FBI raids not only the Los Angeles Unified School District headquarters. I mean, the second largest school district in America, headquarters getting raided in addition to the home of the superintendent, James Carvalho. He sounds like a lovely guy. Let's tune in.
Federal agents raiding the Los Angeles Unified School District headquarters and the home of Superintendent Alberto Carvalho. The FBI confirming that it executed search warrants, but withholding any further detail. The superintendent has recently made headlines for fighting with federal officials over immigration enforcement efforts in his district.
The more illegals you have at your school, the more money you can charge. It's not at all about education any more than the homeless problem and the $34 billion wasted in California to allegedly house the unhomed has totally failed. Why? Because it's a grift. As long as you have the bodies, as long as you have the math, there's a need. Right? You got a lot of people in Minnesota all of a sudden, all of them weirdly are Somalians. There's got to be something going on there. Oh, well, I guess we'll look at it some other time. All of them are autistic and they're all cashing in. You've got this hospice situation in LA County, right? All of a sudden you got 2,000 hospice providers in a state that has 1/10 the elderly people as Florida, but 10 times, 100 times the number of hospice providers. Like, it's almost so weird how it works. Got to have something happen. Cue your crematorium style inferno, right? Or how about a train derailment? How about some kind of an attack? It's disgusting. LA Unified School District Superintendent Carvalho breaks silence on FBI raid of his home and office. Alberto Carvalho, I said James, it's Alberto, my mistake. The embattled Los Angeles schools chief, in his first public statement since FBI raids it at his home and district office, has denied any wrongdoing and has asked to be returned to his duties. Only in America can you be somebody under whose purview tens of millions of dollars evaporates and be put on paid suspension. Right? Would you be like, dude, I don't know, your fingerprints are all over this. I know you probably, no, you're not going to get paid. You have to sit on the back burner. No, he's been paid. He's like, let me go back. I've got more to do. Carvalho is currently on paid administrative leave, pending developments in the ongoing investigation. Anytime huge chunks of money are going out the door and the collective mental acuity of a graduating class slips below like 10% literacy, you've got a problem. So Trump the king, Trump the dictator, Trump the tyrant, he goes in and he's like, yeah, I'm going to tell you what kings do. We're going to stop all funding to the Department of Education. We're going to blow the whole thing up. This place sucks. It's a cesspool of thievery and corruption, and God knows what other quirky, crappy stuff you people are doing. We're blowing it up no more. Oh, what did Randy Weingarten do from the American Federation of Teachers? What anybody who represents the children do? She flew over to Ukraine to fight for the kids there. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. So this doesn't change until the state of California wakes up, until 40 million people are like, I'm tired of taking it up the rear end on this. I'm tired of paying for it. I love my card for my sister's birthday, as she is a tax-paying member of that Los Angeles community. I wish I could get a card that says, well, you voted for it. Now you're going to pay for it. Happy birthday. Hope it's everything and more, right? I don't think they make that card. It's ridiculous. Stop the theft. Stop the fraud. Stop being the ones that die on the sword, have the sword fall on the sword for some marginalized community. If it's not illegal aliens, it's your queer community. If it's not queer, it's the trannies. If it's not the trannies, it's the black students. If it's not the black students, we got to celebrate all girls except those we're going to have transgender boys compete with in school, right? If it's not them, what? It's the homeless, it's the drug-addled. It's one thing after another. And the best of all worlds is war, right? Grifting-wise. This is why Americans who are paying attention say to Senate Majority Leader John Thune, you have failed us for the last time. We are reclaiming our time. And we demand your butts get back in your chairs so 5 senators who have some huevos can vote you out on the street. How about a new Senate Majority Leader? How about blasting up the filibuster? How about passing the Save America Act? How about doing what the American freaking people voted for you to do? But that's just me. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, the finest thing you're going to hear that I've read in a long time from our friend J.D. Rucker, putting it to John Thune, next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I had so many links and certain things I could read you, and then I started riffing, and I got lost with the time. I'm sorry. Only in California, right? No, it's not only in California. It happens in New York. It happens in Chicago. It's happening in Minneapolis. It happens in Philadelphia. It happens in Cleveland and Baltimore, in Oakland and San Francisco. And don't get me started on the COVID grift. Everything from the the frontal lobotomy probes that you need, right? Oh, your masks, your PPE, all of that bull crap, the fake numbers at the CDC. I think that's the only thing that Rand Paul has done in a while that I agree with, is he was actually a voice of reason during COVID, right? But then he went off the freaking bandwagon. We're off the wagon. All right, Brock, did I get everybody? All right, have we decided Easter Sunday? You guys want Easter?
I saw a lot of yes.
Do you want to do some conspiracy Easter egg coloring with me on Sunday? Brock and me? Let's do it. There's going to be some nonsense to talk about, no doubt. You know, what pisses me off is like, you have two people who are swindling, stealing through some IT program. And the IT program was some website, some base browser where kids could communicate with each other and share stuff, almost like a LinkedIn/Instagram just for the unified school district, right? Oh, it's going to be great. And millions of dollars. Oh, yeah, it didn't work. Sorry. And they all move along. No. See, if you don't vote for that crap and other idiots do, and you realize they're going to keep voting for that crap, you've got a choice. Hence, the exodus away from these blue hellscapes. Good luck, California. Now, who else is bailing? There's somebody else who's bailing. Big billionaire. Billionaire leaving. Billionaire.
Are we playing the last soundbite or no?
Steve Hilton. No.
No?
No, I'm sorry. I got long in it.
I sent you a text too.
Was it going to hurt my feelings?
Yeah. No. It's going to hurt my feelings.
He's such a scumbag.
He is. For thee and not
Mayor
for me and not
Mamdani. Justin, Mayor Mamdani just launched free child care for all government workers, taking money from the taxpayers for the bureaucrats.
Didn't see that coming.
What? How about all the food prices? Aren't those supposed to go down? This is, I wrote to JD Rucker too. And I was like, this article is one of the smartest things and finest written articles I've read in a long time. And he's just great. America First Report, his Substack, jdrucker.substack.com. He's worth it.
He will be filling in also the next time.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Oh
He's still do the whole week.
my gosh, really?
Yeah.
I would not trust that.
What?
I would not trust anybody else, very few other people with all 5 days.
This would be like, what? I do.
Oh my gosh, I love. Daily website. He also has a Substack called America First Report. And I want to read this to you because it is one of the smartest things to kind of wrap up in a bow this push to get John Thune to do one of something. Here's the title of it. Either John Thune leads the Senate and ends the filibuster, or J.D. Vance needs to step in. He writes, the Save America Act cannot wait on procedural timidity. Senate Republicans have one senator to convince, and if their majority leader won't do it, the president of the Senate must. There's a moment in every legislative fight when the machinery of procedure either serves the people or becomes an excuse for cowardice. We're in that moment now, JD writes. The Save America Act, legislation that Republicans campaigned on, that the American people voted to see enacted, sits hostage to the filibuster, that hallowed Senate tradition that has once again transformed majority rule governance into a veto wielded by a determined minority. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has acknowledged the core problem plainly enough. 4 Republican senators remain opposed to eliminating the filibuster. 4, not 14. not 44. That's not a wall. That is a door with a single deadbolt. The only question is whether Thune has the will and the skill to find the key. To be clear about the math, Thune does not need to convince all 4 senators. He needs one. A single member of his own caucus persuaded to put the interests of the American people above procedural sentiment. That's all that stands between the Senate's stated agenda and its actual accomplishment. One senator, one conversation, perhaps several, conducted with the full weight of majority leadership behind it. That is what leadership looks like. It is not comfortable. It is not the kind of thing done over polite lunches and collegial handshakes. Real whipping of votes requires arm twisting, horse trading, pressure applied when pressure is warranted, and a willingness to spend political capital accumulated over years in the chamber. Thune has that capital. The question being asked of him now, and increasingly loudly, is why he refuses to spend it. The filibuster in its current form is not a constitutional protection. It is a Senate rule, one that has been modified, reformed, and worked around repeatedly throughout American history. The nuclear option, invoked for judicial nominees in 2013, and executive branch nominees before that, demonstrated that the Senate's rules are neither sacred nor immovable when the legislative moment demands action. Republicans know this. They have benefited from these rule changes directly. The argument that the filibuster represents some untouchable constitutional architecture simply does not hold. What does hold is the legitimate concern that eliminating the legislative filibuster sets a precedent that a future Democratic Senate majority could exploit. That is a real consideration and deserves honest engagement, not dismissal. But here's the counter argument these 4 senators must weigh. A Senate that cannot pass the agenda of the American people, elected it to pass, is not protecting democracy. It is undermining it. Procedural purity is cold comfort when the business of governing goes undone. The Save America Act is not a fringe priority cooked up in committee. It represents a significant piece of the platform on which Republicans ran and won. Allowing it to die or languish indefinitely because of intra-party hesitation over Senate rules would be a failure of governance of the first order. The voters sent a majority to Washington. That majority deserves to function as one. And so we arrive at the second option, the one that should not be necessary but may become unavoidable. If the majority leader cannot or will not bring that necessary vote into alignment, the Constitution offers another avenue, the President of the Senate, Vice President J.D. Vance. The role of the President of the Senate is not ceremonial wallpaper. It carries real constitutional weight, and in a closely divided chamber, it carries real procedural power. Vance has already demonstrated he understands this. As an active and engaged vice president, he has made clear he is not content to be a passive tiebreaker on the margins of Senate business. He is a political actor with a mandate and an agenda, and that agenda aligns precisely with what the Save America Act is intended to accomplish. Right? The only acceptable outcome is the one where nothing happens at all, where 4 senators hold a majority agenda hostage indefinitely, while leadership shrugs and the Save America Act quietly fades from the calendar. The American people did not vote for that. They voted for results. It is past time to deliver them. That, I thought, was one of the most wisely written articles about what's at stake and why John Thune needs to be replaced. J.D. Vance, America is watching. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. It was great to be with you today. Come on back tomorrow, okay? 21 hours, we'll do it again. I love you guys. Have a great day. Peace.